the big rectangle in the middle. So I have now that I've been playing a lot more comp recently, it is now known in my vocabulary as divider here. But I think when it comes down to umami zones, you want to at least kind of hold that front line down, lock it down, ensure that you can at least, if at like best case scenario, you control the silo or the dome in the enemy team spawn. That way you just have a lot more of a secure lockout on Umami Ruins.
And of course, getting with the two teams here that will get their first taste of the two-zone map here in Umami Ruins, and of course the team that will get the lockout. That's going to be the big thing I'm going to be keeping an eye on here, especially with, again, in regards to Sea Lanterns, their third tournament participation, actually overall as a team. I'm going to be curious to see if they will get their first dub at least to start lowing, excuse me, as crippling ink efficiency, which again, I'm still going to laugh at the name here, Frostix. Is they're gonna see if they get to start off strong. Of course, every team here, for the record, 91 teams participating in this month's edition of Blowing. The first round's always just the warm-ups or lead-ups. You don't exactly know how this matchup is gonna go, especially with the draw that happens here. So I mean, for both teams, winning map 1, especially this two-zone map, will mean a lot down the road here for this play all 3.
Yeah, exactly. If you can get that ball rolling, if you can get your momentum off, you can potentially get that rust shaken off easier here, then you can get that ball rolling, especially on a map like TC Mako. That kind of, I think that map really is momentum heavy. If you can get that push past, like, if you can get that tower past first checkpoint here, it'll be a pretty difficult time getting that lead back if you are on the defending end. And now we have no more time left to yap. Let's get into Umami Ruins, Keon.
Yeah, let's get this show on the road here. We take a look at the teams. Crippling ink efficiency is going to be on the Bravo side, the purple color side. Green colored side is Sea Lanterns. I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. It's Dude on the with the silver spray to get things going. We have one Reef Slider on the board, and we also have a series of interesting weapons. Let alone the Dreadringer. That's the one with the Crab Tank, if I'm not mistaken, on the side of Sea Lanterns here. And this is going to be an interesting start to see how in this case, Crippling ink efficiency is going to take advantage of that Reef Slider to their advantage, but they're going to have to wait just a little bit longer. They just used it for one. They actually get a few pops, but they are going to get the trade here. And so far, Frostix, this will be Sea Lanterns at least getting the first points on the board.
Good positioning on Parties and ensuring that they can get the trade off with that Reef Slider pick. And right now we're seeing Party, I think that's Temp as well as the leader on, I think that Sea Lantern is just holding down the line on Divider at the moment here. I think Crippling ink efficiency has still space to move in. They just threw that Booyah Bomb in, but now that S-Blast is getting picked off, the Soda has been deployed here. I think we're seeing the Reef Slider trying to go in, but they get shut down by Flat, slashing it up with that Platonic Stamper. And here comes a frontline grab from Sea Lanterns posted up on the dome. You need to watch out because look, they're almost out of their points.
Yeah, they're almost out of the points there, but they did lose a few members. You're just taking a notice there of that frontline crab there as we're gonna get a quick cutaway, and we're back in session right away there. The wipeout has been secured, and that will just be the 90 points remaining there. We're gonna get a quick focus though. That frontline crab tank definitely the right idea, but they've lost a lot of ground, a lot of momentum as we spoke there. So it was a good, valiant effort to at least enforce a lockout there from Sea Lanterns, but Crippling ink efficiency, they're going to get their first punch of points here on the board, and they are actually keeping the momentum up here pretty strong here, Frostix.
Have the momentum going, but do they have the positioning? They're backing off at the turn of the missiles courtesy of the pros in here. We're seeing Dude trying to hold the line with the Fizzy Bomb and a Reef Slider almost ready to go. Zone is in neutral. They are almost at that lead point. They're almost making it out of the 30 threshold into the 20. But here comes Temp with a Crab Tank to potentially spawn, but it's getting chipped off by Cryo. No, Cryo goes down to Temp's Crab Tank. Dude needs to run. They need to have that slider ready to go. They need if they can get that flip going. Furs is going down to Flat, and that is a zone flip by Sea Lanterns, not allowing a lead swap just yet.
I mean, when you take advantage of that Crab Tank and able to get a few picks up with the range of it, it's gonna mean a whole lot. And right now for Sea Lanterns, they are able to stop basically a lot of the points from being lost here. And all they need to do right now is just hold the line for just a little bit longer. They are getting some staggering picks here. First has to just burn the Crab Tank to at least keep the defenses up. But by using it earlier, they end up losing the reinforcements that they need to keep the pressure going. The trade is gonna benefit Sea Lanterns at the end with 2 members up on both sides. It doesn't look like the counter push is going to be there quite yet. The Dualies is just doing their best to try to get paint on the board, and it looks like they might be able to. They at least get the one taste of neutral for 3 seconds, but they are inevitably shut down at the end. And Sea Lanterns, the team on the green color side, will strike first, winning stage 1 here in this play all 3.
It was definitely a valiant effort from crippling ink deficiency in order to. I think it was good to get that zone into neutral here, but I think at that point Sea Lanterns was just far too close to winning at that point. They were in the single digits. I think they were just literally 2 ticks away from getting that. All they needed was just a little bit more paint, and that's what Sea Lanterns brought in spades. So that is game 1 going to them. We're going to TC Mako next, and now that we have had a taste of what both of these teams have to offer, Kion, what do you think what do you think Mako Mart's gonna play out? How do you think Mako Mart's gonna play out?
You know, I don't think I'm going to be seeing the Silver Spray yet from Crippling Ink Efficiency. Most typical conventions here is that if you're dishing out that Silver Arrow Spray, it's you're gonna be spamming Reef Sliders for days. It's great for zones map control. If you can make it work on Mako Mart TC close to the second checkpoint, I can see it come out there, but I wouldn't be shocked if they just swap that out. I do like that both teams did bring out crab tanks. Expect those to return back in some capacity if they want to keep those weapons. I think though, if we're reading close to this one map setup here, I was trying to figure out the sample size of just that one map. I feel like you could have a lot of dynamics in play. I also wouldn't be shocked if Crippling Ink Efficiency just makes changes wholesale. So for Crippling Ink Efficiency, if you want to be on the board, I wouldn't be shocked if they make some adjustments.
I think there's one thing that you pointed out earlier at the start of Umami Ruins. On Sea Lanterns, they had the Horns Dreadringer here. That's a really underrated, under-the-radar pick, in my opinion. It is, of course, a Dreadringer, which leans well into the AoE, like the ledges, and I guess the AoE of Dreadringer can just thrive really well in Mako Mart. And of course, it has a crab tank, so it's filling out that crab slot for Sea Lanterns and just allows it to provide a lot more pressure onto, say, something like that first checkpoint ledge area, as well as just the rest of spawn as the tower moves ever so closer towards a knockout.
Yeah. And that's actually kind of a good note there, because not many teams pick up the Horns Dreadringer, if only because there's probably better options you can have with a crab tank. You can play basically Vanilla Splash, even Splat Dualies. All other options are on the board. So and other teams tend to value different weapons that kind of suits the team as a whole. If you wanted a Reef Slider pick, you just pick the Vanilla Dreadringer and then call it a day. So I also just wouldn't be shocked if they want to go that direction. But I think for a map like this, you could just make the crab tanks definitely work in the end. So I think Frostix, we can talk. A lot of strategy can be talked here. It's still just a 1-game sample size, so I think there's a lot of things that could be on the table for both teams coming into the second game.
Definitely a lot of things in store for the next 2 games. There is still an entire Rainmaker map coming after this. Another thing I wanted to point out, I think this was on Sea Lanterns, they got the leader. Leader has superior range, and considering that there is at least a fair amount of vantage point for that leader to sit on, very good. I think Crippling Ink Deficiency would want to find ways to shut out their eye in the sky here. So Osprey still on the leader. We're seeing flat switch up to the sticker stamper here. First is on Twinkle's the Twinkle's dually, so that's going to be some bubble action on their end. And we're seeing Dude still sticking with the arrow. This time it is gold.
Now, Gold Spray, you apply the same strategy as spamming Reef Sliders, now spam Booyah Bombs instead. This is a double Booyah Bomb setup that Crippling Ink Efficiency has. The only problem with this setup that could pose an issue, your Gold Spray is going to be farming Booyah Bombs for days. The problem though is that your team now has to make up for it with some aggression and some skirmishing. You gotta hope that the Twinkle Dualies can step a bit along with the S-Blast in this particular comp setup. Sea Lanterns has 2 GG specials available. They got the Trip Strikes, they got the Booyah Bombs ready to go. They keep the E-Leader, which is a fantastic weapon for this map. So Frostic, I think coming into this, it's gonna really boil down to the best push but before after the 1 minute mark and see where the game state lies.
I mean, already Sea Lanterns is cruising past that first checkpoint here, only after a little bit. They are now past that first checkpoint. Osprey is posted up on left staff, trying to get that snipe. Boom! Dude going down here. I think they have their sights set on Cryo before they jump out. It is only left to Furs at the moment, as now Sea Lanterns is approaching that second checkpoint. Furs and I think Dude are in place, but that is a crab popped by Tempt.
Oh no!
from the leaders, also providing some extra pressure. And now Sea Lanterns are closing in on that final check where that first Booyah Bomb is hitting the tower. And now they need to get that tower in. But I'm not sure if there's anyone left. I know there's a lot of people left.
Yeah, there's still plenty of people left around that tower, but you saw from just one powerful push, Frostix, and just the amount of players that dropped right out of the game from Crippling Ink Efficiency. Crippling Ink Efficiency now has to just chase back into the tower, put their defenses up there. You saw the very defensive bubble there from Furs just to get everybody from Sea Lanterns out. And Sea Lanterns incredibly are still playing this one opportunistically with all the members that were available, but they lost 2. That should stall it out and have the tower return back to neutral. But crazily enough, Frostic, the fact that Sea Lanterns kept the tower close to the 3rd checkpoint for the first 2 minutes of the game does not bode very well for Crippling Ink Efficiency. But there's still plenty of time left on the clock, but they gotta get stuff going. I would expect the Booyah Bombs to really help here with getting some control back. The problem though, they're gonna have to farm those back up, especially if they lose 2 and now a staggered 3 just like that.
They are staggering pretty hard, Pio. You are indeed right. And they need to start holding down space, because if you just lose that space and go down like Furs did under the ledge, now look, Sea Lanterns is already up and going. They don't need to worry about checkpoints here. We're seeing the Blaster striking, but now Blaster is going to be able to get rid of Banana, throwing a Booyah Bomb straight onto Furs' head top here. There's 2 down on Crippling Ink Deficiency. There's a Booyah Bomb set to let stack. Furs is going down to a slash from flat. They're going to potentially get rid of Banana. No, Banana gets rid of the Stamper, gets rid of the Dreadringer. Banana is the last bastion, and they are not letting Crippling Ink Deficiency go down without a fight. It is 1 more inch away from Sea Lanterns getting that knockout. There's 1 minute, 53 seconds left on the clock, so Crippling Ink Deficiency have their work cut out for them. The thing here is that with Sea Lanterns, if you get the KO, that is amazing momentum and a lot of positive energy to build off of. Coming into the 3rd stage. But in this scenario, I don't think they're going to mind it too much. They have had a lot of control of the map so far. A lot of credit to Banana for getting the double there with that S-Blast. The problem, though, is the rest of the team. I think what we're noticing throughout this stage here is they're just staggering one by one. They have to focus on some of the priority targets that could stop them. But the way that Sea Lanterns is playing together as a team is incredible to see here in this second map. So a lot of ways that this can play out, but right now, Sea Lanterns just have all the control in the world so far, and Crippling Ink Efficiency again. They just gotta get some picks on the board. Yeah, they need to start ramping up the aggression, start taking space more aggressively. They're all chilling beneath the ledge here, but they need to start storming the stacks here, not allow Temp to stay in this crab for too long. And boom, the crab armor is shredded, but Temp not allowing that to phase them. They get rid of Banana. It is only Cryo and Dude Dude, but now Furs is jumping into the fray. A Booyah Bomb is being charged by Dude Dude. Now Osprey's gone down, Temp has gone down, there's 2 down on Sea Lanterns. This is the moment to strike, and as Furs and Dude Dude have stepped on the tower, it is go time. But here comes a Booyah Bomb from Flat here. It could impede their progress. They need to remain stalwarts here. The Booyah Bomb was being charged. It does come off. That's not going to be enough. And Sea Lanterns jumps right back onto that tower here. There is under 20 seconds. Crippling Ink Deficiency needs a Hail Mary and a half if they want to get a knockout at the moment, because Sea Lanterns are just defending this tower like their lives depend on it. Temp getting rid of Banana. The strikes are hitting the tower in a GG effort. Temp needs to run. Yeah. Oh, they just smother Dude, and that is it.
Yeah, and that's that. I mean, that's Sea Lanterns just taking total control of the entire game, and for Crippling Ink Efficiency, that setup that they had with Banana on the S-Blast, the switching off from the Silver Spray to the Gold Spray, the right idea, but that Gold Spray, all it's gonna do in most cases is farm Booyah Bombs. There's very little fighting power that they could do against some of the other weapons that Sea Lanterns had on the board, and also what doesn't help, just some of the opportunities that they tried to strike back. Sea Lanterns just had a great read on them, and Sea Lanterns' first their first set win actually of day one, so that's a great start for them. Crippling Ink Efficiency down 1, but it is play all 3. They're gonna have to play the 3rd map. So Frostix, I always call this as the salvage map here for Crippling Ink Efficiency. You want to at least end this first set on a very good no, even if you lost a set, because that will at least get you going potentially on the next set coming up. And for Sea Lanterns, they just want to ride the high of a 3-0 clean sweep here, especially coming up to the Scorchworth Rainmaker map.
Now, okay, of course, I think the elephant in the room Inefficiency
What is up
is
here?
due to
What are you thinking?
It's
Am I the only one that's still here? Did we officially lose him?
No,
Because
I'm
if
here,
so, I might
I'm
be the
here.
one that's only speaking here.
Joan, I'm here.
So it looks like we might have lost Frostix.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? What the? I'm here.
Yep, he's here.
Okay.
You know what happened here for Discord?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shout out Discord here real quick. They decided to cut my connection, and then I they suddenly lost, and then I suddenly lost Frostix. So this is my first chat. Now you can speak, so I can recover myself.
Anyways, I was saying that the elephant in the room when now that we've been talking about crippling ink deficiency for the last 2 games has just been Dude and their choice of arrow spray here. And I think when it just comes down to whether or not you go gold or you go silver on Rainmaker, I feel like both of them have their case uses. Booyah Bomb allows you to just have a good like both Booyah Bomb and Reef Slider are really good push tools here. They cover a lot of space and they just demand a lot of presence. Dare I say, we go silver here, because I think it'll come into play a lot more. I think in that final checkpoint here, it is just a straight walk forward, and having a Reef Slider escort your Rainmaker holder straight to that final pedestal, or even just straight to the first pedestal, is a really good thing to have. And also, Fizzy Bomb can do a lot of good object damage for what it's worth, even when Sea Lanterns is running a E-Leader, which can just chip away things. Yeah.
So that's gonna be the interesting thing that we could see here. Is that silver spray possibly coming out here and clearing out all the space that it needs. So it wouldn't be shocked if that's to be coming out here. Doctor, I see your play here. For some reason, you decided to play the same weapon, but decided to switch the weapon skin for that one. We know that's a T-type that you're dishing out here. Flat, by the way, has that vanilla stamper that's on the board that they're now dishing out. Now that they decided to switch off of the original stamper weapon, so to speak, so they decided to go with a little bit more aggression with that Zipcaster and the Booyah Bomb. On the other side, though, there is still the spray that is available, and that's leading to crippling ink efficiency, basically going 3 down. And with a couple members from Sea Lanterns coming up here, they should be able to get that first checkpoint rather soon. And all that it would take is apparently Osprey getting a double with just the Rainmaker. Okay, Sea Lanterns is going nuts though with some of the picks and the aggression that they have coming up here. So far, 2 members have gone down. Temp is clearing out all the space. The first checkpoint has been cleared, and Frostix, the first checkpoint done, and Sea Lanterns gets it with only less than a minute into the game.
Yeah, it's just right off the bat aggression coming out from Sea Lanterns, but now crippling ink deficiency has the Rainmaker. They have 2 sliders ready to go already, one being popped by Dude. I think Furs has another slider ready to go. Here he comes. It's not going to be able to get rid of Flat, and Flat is going to be able to get rid of Furs. The Rainmaker goes down to Banana, who gets rid of Flat. It is still close to that first checkpoint here. Banana's in a bit of a pinch here. They are rallying a jump for Furs, but now they're jumping out, and I think that is Furs going down, 3 members only on each team. And I think right now we're in a little bit of a reset state as Sea Lanterns is trying to just take back some control on their end. See, look, Temp already getting rid of Banana.
Something that I actually did not even get to highlight here now that we're back into the state where they're resetting the Rainmaker is I'm looking at crippling ink efficiency setup. If I'm not mistaken, there is a double Reef Slider setup that is on the board there with the blue dapples and the silver arrow spray. They have kept the cooler option consistent, just swapping out different weapons that make sense for the maps they're playing for. But so I'm actually pretty interested to see how they take advantage of the double Reef Slider setup that they got going on here. Of course, they're gonna have one that's just gonna farm Reef Sliders for days, and right now Sea Lanterns has just been calling that out constantly. And as we've seen that arrow spray just go down one by one. Doctor gets a nice little pick there. This jump is likely going to get punished. Oh, definitely. Didn't even get a chance to lift 2 feet on the ground. And that will be just a delayed 3 there. And once more, Frostix, they pick up the Rainmaker. Sea Lanterns is just trying to go for anything past 68 points remaining.
But I think they're being met with a lot of resistance now, and Temp is now forced to jump off the map, but it still stays there. I think Notamoon or Furs managed to get rid of Temp before they could drop the Rainmaker, so now it is in the hands of crippling ink deficiency's Headit, and now I think they need to get past mid, and having... I was going to say that Osprey is going to be a really big variable, but Osprey is being taken down. It's a good priority target on the crippling ink deficiencies. And here, Flat is going to be able to get rid of Dude. That's one less slider to worry about. And Flat has the Rainmaker in their sights, and they take it down, and we are right back into reset stage.
It's fascinating that one of the members, I think that was why that picked up the Rainmaker earlier, decided that the best idea that they could do is just jump off the map to force a Rainmaker reset and make things harder for crippling Ink efficiency. But I think they just went down right before they had a chance to do that. That's why we saw the Rainmaker spawn in an interesting location for crippling Ink efficiency. Didn't really matter for them in the end, as crippling Ink efficiency still couldn't get more points on the board. What's crazy enough to see here, Frostix, is we look at the game, say where we stand right now. The Reef Slider gets a double, so ignore that for a second. Dude with a critical Reef Slider double should open things up here for crippling Ink efficiency, especially with the spawns that are there. First is actually going to be the designated player to try to move up and open up some space for the team. The problem, though, is that they went down as well, and there is a rebound of Ink Orange Ink that Sea Lanterns has, but crippling Ink efficiency does take 3 members out in the picture. Only the Zip Master alive, and the Zip Master comes out clutch, which is incredible. It's going to slow them down by just a bit, but only for a few more seconds. Now both checkpoints been cleared, and this is going to be an interesting finish here for both teams, Frostix.
It is a 1-point differential, and oh, there's the wipeout from Sea Lanterns here. I was really just about to commend Crippling Ink Efficiency's effort to get there. I think they had Dude painting the Rainmaker up, and you had this frontline duo of Furs and Banana trying to just get space, and they did. They almost got a wipeout going for them, but now it is still, Sea Lantern still holds 1 point over Crippling Ink Efficiency here. Banana is trying to strike against Doctor. No, Banana goes down. Here comes a Reef Slider from Furs, and Doctor is still in the building. They are able to get rid of Furs with the Rainmaker, and they're just trying to hold their space in pit. Meanwhile, the rest of Sea Lanterns are mobilizing into Utah, just claiming space that Doctor doesn't even need to take, because it is about to end right here. And then a Reef Slider's coming in, and that won't be enough, as Sea Lanterns takes this at 3-0.
Frostix, I don't remember the last time I saw the scoreline be literally just 1 checkpoint each and not anywhere past that, but I felt like that kind of just summed up this game as a whole. Sea Lanterns might have just been playing a little bit there, but I believe they couldn't find the answers that they needed to against the other weapons that Crippling Ink Efficiency had. And there was a lot of opportunities Crippling Ink Efficiency got to basically at least make this a 2-1 set at the end, but I mean, that critical pick from Flat, at least taking out the Rainmaker there, and also some great coverage that Crippling Ink Efficiency, Sea Lanterns had, while Furs went down with the Dapples, kind of made it a lot more difficult, especially with the amount of time burned. And that's how we saw Sea Lanterns gaining the clean 3-0 there, and that's a great start for them coming into day 1 of Low Ink.
Big shoutouts to Flats. You have been working OT within Scorch Gorge. In comes the Stamper with the steel chair. And I think if Flats wasn't there, I really could have imagined an alternate reality in which Crippling Ink Efficiency could have gotten just a little bit further. And right now, in that situation, a little bit further is all they needed to get that lead here. And that was a really good salvage match from Crippling Ink Efficiency as we close out Swiss Round 1.
It's always funny to just hear Crippling Ink Efficiency
I'm thinking of efficiency too much.
Are you sure that they weren't being efficient? And unfortunately, they did not really live up to their name for the most part in terms of being efficient either there, because it felt like they lost so much control of the map across all 3 stages here, and that's just kind of what we saw. So, I mean, Sea Lanterns, the quick 3-0 there. I'm actually gonna be curious to see how all the matchups, played out here in both groups. Which of course we are running groups A and B for Low Ink. I'm still remembering the old times of 4 groups, but I'm sure the TOs who are listening to this are be like, do we want to go back to 4 groups again? Thank you. Shoutouts, by the way, to Sam, our producer here, coming into this one. Now that I got my Discord connection back into stable mode here, Frostix, let's take a look into the end of round 1, and this is pretty much to be expected with the end of round 1. You could be seeing a majority of it be 3-0s as both teams are getting themselves warmed up. UFish and Squid Gloves, the only team kind of lagging behind, but compared to the rest of the pack there, as we see Squid Gloves with a 1-0. Any teams or team names, if you will, strikes out to you so far?
I mean, well, I'm specifically looking at the sets that have ended up in 2-1. Specifically, that is Star Guardians of Chaos and TBA, which I'm seeing Inception and Executioners, Lunar Blitz and Straw Hats, Bulba and Expanding Ball. The name got cut out here, and there's also QuackCon and Sesame Timbers.
You know, and we'll probably be expecting a lot more too once possibly down the road, especially with how Swiss plays out here. How these Swiss stages play out. So don't be surprised if some of these two. We see a lot more coming into it. Star Guardians of Chaos, by the way, the team that is pretty much high up there on the board. Probably a team to look out for coming into this. We do take a look at Group B. All stages are a complete wrap so far, and teams that kind of just struck out to me. I believe Reef Runners was definitely one of them. There may be some CCA bias showing from Black Squid Ink Burger. Love to see them back after a long break from a while ago. Among other team names such as RAT, Orange Ocean, and Rising Beyond the Tides, I think was another there as well. Honorbound and Appreciation Collective. So I think for a lot of the teams that have been consistent bracket teams, especially around Alpha and Beta from previous months, now it's their chance to step up, especially coming in close to the end of the year, really for this calendar year.
It is November. We are Christmas 1 month away, if you will. Here. Christmas, just a month away.
Why is Christmas 1 month away though? Well, it's coming up so quickly. I don't understand what time is anymore.
We are in mid-November here, and for those in the U.S., I think that is Thanksgiving rapidly approaching for y'all. I'm Canadian. I couldn't relate. My Thanksgiving was last month, but now, well, we are still waiting on that last. Oh, actually, no, it just ended. Eelfish and Squid Gloves went also 2-1 in their sets as well.
You know what? I think we can keep going here a little bit, Frostix, as I think we're gonna probably get the next matchup queued up here in just a bit.
Right.
But the best part though, Frostix. So I will go on the ramble here. You got Thanksgiving coming up here for us folks here in the U.S. You guys celebrate Thanksgiving the month prior. Now I would presume there's a good reason for that. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure there's a good reason for that. And of course, I think I'm gonna have all the Canadians just tell me, "Oh yeah, there's a reason for it." And I'm just sitting here like, I need to look y'all up here at some point for what the reason is.
I don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't know why we do it in I don't know why we do Thanksgiving in October. I mean, it's like, sure, I can have the yearly scheduled turkey gravy meal, like a week before Halloween. So I guess it just gives November the reputation of being the month where all of my exams happen.
And for those who are still in college, I'm sure they do not want to hear those words. Let's be real here. I was about to ask for Canadian Thanksgiving. Do you always have like the typical turkey gravy meal?
It's the usual. I don't think we have any specific like staples. It's also just because I don't think I've really had like a sit down Thanksgiving party in a hot minute. But it's still an excuse to eat and go to a family member's house, I guess.
You know that is actually true. It is a time for the families to all get back together and basically either say hi to them for about 2 seconds or get to have a long conversation. For context, from my end, we do celebrate Thanksgiving, but we don't have the typical turkey dinner. If you guys know how Asian dinners work, by the way, you'll kind of get the gist.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a typical like Asian meals for us. For us, it's pho, by the way, just for context, which is a great soup. It is a great soup.
I could go for that. Maybe I'll just there's a pho spot that's like maybe a bus ride away from me, and I had it with my dad maybe a couple weekends ago. That was good. Maybe I should go there again.
It's delicious as long as it's made right. That's the really important thing. If you have terrible pho, I would have to be the judge of that. No, I'm not. By the way, I'm actually not. Don't trust me on
Yon
that.
will appear, or will use instant transmission to appear behind you if you are eating. If you have in front of you a mediocre bowl of pho.
See, we don't have the technology for instant teleportation. I don't think we were quite ready for that here. So that's all. So we'll get into the technology here in a bit, but we'll talk about Thanksgiving. I'm sure we'll have to talk about different Thanksgiving meals later. I'm sure we'll have time for that. Frostix, we got our next setup here. We're gonna matchups. Coming up here, and it is. We'll come with a name later, and Obamna being the team. That's how I think I'm pronouncing it. We'll come with a name later. What is the story about why you couldn't come up with the name at that point in time? You pretty much had a full month, I would imagine.
And at what point? And at what point is later? Will it be in day 2? Will it be in alpha bracket stage? Will it be literally next round? I don't even think you can do that next round. I don't think that's how Sendo works. That means you're maybe even stuck with will come up with a team name later for the entirety of Low Ink Weekend.
You know, if it's stuck like that and they end up winning like now, I guess every team's gonna have an excuse to have an untitled team name, and we're gonna have a lot of questions. Like, let's just get that out of the way. By the way, both teams are pickups, by the way, here coming in glowing. So, which this shouldn't come as a surprise for the wheel come with a name later with a name like that, but we do get some familiar names of Miki, Astral, Adela, and Toki, among others, and Obama. That's also going to be the exact same thing for their pickup there. They got Squishy, Jacob, Carla, and Krovigeki, which I believe is a combination of different players from different teams, such as Chocolate Therapy and Time to Win on that side. And for the other team, it's also a collection of players from different teams. So, well, there you go.
Yeah, we'll come with a team later consists of players from Primoza and Adele's from Turn Left. So it's kind of, you know, two different little pickups. Yeah, both pickups. We're going into round 2, and now consulting the map sheets that Glum has given us. Round 2 is consisting of Clam Blitz Museum, Zones Mahi Mahi, and Tower Control Hagglefish.
So inevitably we were gonna have to get back into Clam Blitz at some point down the road, because it is, of course, the only mode that didn't get played in the first round. So you guys are gonna have to deal with Clam Blitz. Let's be honest here. So yeah, every team gonna be dealing with those 3 maps coming up here. Of course, Fleet Off, Beat Museum, Dale, Fontino, Clam Blitz. Before I talk about the map here real quickly, I actually do want to take a look at the quick record check for both teams here, because yeah, we'll come up with the team name later. Got that 3 on the first round. Same thing with Obamna. So we do get both teams with the 1-0 set record coming in this one. So again, you win the first set. Now you get to see if you get to move up to 2-0 or go down to 1-1. Or I talked about this with Neptune last month when we did Lowing together in day one. It's all it can be a matter of a difference for tiebreakers. Ideally, you want to get to 2-0 so you can give yourselves a lot of wiggle room to qualify for alpha brackets. But I'm sure for both teams, now that they got that first round, a little bit of warm ups here and there out of the way, we might be seeing some good matches coming up.
Yeah, both will come with a team later, and Obamna are just riding the high off of their round 1 match. We'll come with a team name later, getting rid of going 3-0 against Bedtime. Obamna going 3-0 against ADHD Shipwreck, a team that I have played up against in, I think, last month's Low Ink, and now they're in my super team server. Anyways, going into Museum, Dalfoncino, Clam Blitz here, we're seeing a pretty traditional comp on, I think will come with a team name later, and meanwhile on the other side of Obamna, that is Tetradulies I am seeing in the hands of Krovigeki, and that is interesting, and I think we're already seeing Krovigeki take the shortcuts through right side, already pushing up alongside Jacob here. Still Love is trying to at least get rid of them. DG now being forced to jump out, and already that is first blood going to Obamna, but now Krovigeki does go down, and I think we're right back into the state of just opening in mid.
It's opening in mid, and also more importantly, just both teams trying to figure out the right time to materialize for that first push on the board. This actually might be the time for Obamna, as they do take out 3 members already. Now you can see the push moving up ahead, but they gotta get a power clam spawned, and right now there's just Squishy holding on to just the 1. They find a cluster of 3 that's available. That will be that power clam being spawned in, and they will actually get a pretty nice push up to the barrier, but the question is the follow-up going to be there whatsoever? You do see Jacob using the Kraken, but nobody else is there with them. It's just Jacob in no Squid's land even, and it's just a one-and-done push, to say the least. You get points on the board, but there is a free claim that's available for Will Come with the name later. But overall, you get points on the board at the end, Caustic.
Not just point that thing, Obamna just managed to at least hold their ground very well. They have 2 power clams in their back pocket here, that's not even counting a pity. That being said, 2 members going down with Krovigeki and Jacob here. I think that is the Crab Tank in mid spinner trying to at least keep the space up. But now we're seeing the roller strike with that bubble, and Mauro Rossi is able to get rid of 2 with just their roller. Now 3 with Jacob, and that's a wipeout for Will Come with a team name later. Now, do they have the power clams to go? They have have the pity clams, and now they have the power clam ready to go here. A Booyah Bomb is being tossed, the soda is being brought out, the crab is being brought out, and there is the first clam. Do they have the follow-up though? Because if there isn't any follow-up, that 80 will turn into... Oh, there it is! There's the clams coming in from Still in Love, and uh-oh, is it about to happen? And boom! A second power clam has hit the basket. Pushing will come with a name later's lead to 51.
You know, we'll go with a name later. I love the patience that they had. The roller was planted close to the base if they needed to get the jumps in and get the aggression started. That was great patient play and also a perfect show of discipline to avoid picking up the Infinity Clam too early. Because what we saw right there was, hey, let's get the Power Clam spawn naturally. Let's just combo all of our specials. The Cooler, the Booyah Bomb, the Crab Tank all went out for that one push. On top of it too, Obamna lost all control of their base and the squids that they needed to keep the game alive for them, and on that matter, jumping that free clam back at base is fantastic. They're able to extend the lead a little bit more, but at the end, with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left here, Frostix, still plenty of time for Obamna to strike back. They got the reslider. That crab tank has been collapsed upon. Ooh. 3 members surrounded them. So do a few. The third has dropped as well, and I believe we're gonna see a delayed wipeout. And both power clams, all 3 power clams, I believe, have gone out of the picture, and that was tragic to say the least for Obamna.
And all of their resources go down swinging, and as soon as we say that, DG now proceeds to get another barrier break, and oh, does it happen again? A second power clam is in the basket! Pushing will come with a name later lead to 35! It's like you were saying, Kieran, they are playing this so incredibly calculated and patient, and striking at the opportune moments here. They got rid of all of Obamna's resources, and struck back with another double power clam push here. There is now 1 minute, 30 seconds left on the clock here. Obamna does have a pity clam ready to go, but they only have 2 members left, and Still in Love is just there. They are able to get rid of Squishy, and now they just need to just get back this space, and they are still holding this space. They have another power clam ready to go. The splash is deep in enemy territory. They finally get shut down by Krobigeki, and then now Krobigeki trying to get rid of Marorasi. Yes, they do. Can they get a third? Mayhem's going down. This should be where Obamna strikes here. Carl is at 5. Squishy able to get rid of DG now, and now the missiles are being charged. There are 10 missiles headed for one person in particular. Now the crab tank is being popped on mid-spinner, and this is Obama's time to strike. They have at least 1 power clam, and I think they're close to a second, but no, Squishy does go down. It is less than 50 seconds left.
Yeah, less than 50 seconds to go on the clock, and they had to pick up the free clam just to get any sort of offense going here. And the only problem that's materialized right now is I think they may have tried to move a little too fast for their own good. You have to get a strong push out of the gate though with the deficit that they have to deal with, because it's going to be at least 2 power clams on the board. They saved both of them for themselves at the end. So for Obamna, they have to find the right time for this push. They don't have any specials really available. They just have missiles to clear out the space that could be coming up here soon. They had to burn the crab tank from earlier, but Carl swims right into the Booyah Bomb, and that's going to be 2 members down. No squids available. 2 power clams, so they're stuck in a terrible position, and there might be all the members that will come with the name later is having, and Krobigeki had to use the Reef Slider, but because both power clams have disappeared, OT is not going to exist either, Frostix. We'll come with a name later. We'll take home game 1 to start us off.
And Obamna really had all like the resources necessary to start a lot of pushes. They had the specials in their hands, they had the power clams. I just feel like they didn't have the aggression or just the space necessary here. And then when they were lacking the space, when they weren't taking those positions that they could have definitely taken advantage of with stuff like the Rage Blaster and especially the Tetra Dualies here, it just allowed Will Come with the team name later to just take that opportunity for themselves. They controlled the momentum of the match here and constantly negated any attempts for a double, triple power climb push for Will Come for Obamna. So that's game 1 going to them. That's a little bit more momentum, a little bit more coal added to Will Come with the name later's hype train as they go into Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi.
So I wouldn't be shocked if we get to see Reef Sliders again. This is a perfect map. This is a perfect map for Reef Sliders, because that Reef Slider, more often than not, if you get it at the right angle, it will be an insta-cap. So I wouldn't be shocked if you get to see them come back with it. So let's see how both teams want to approach this particular map. I do want to go back to that game 1. Obamna had so many right ideas with the 3 power clams that they had available, but when the rest of Will Come with the name later gets that delayed wipe, all the offense that was there just kind of disappeared. The thing I was concerned about is if Wheel Come with the Name Later would move a little too fast for their own good and get the Power Clam cashed in, which gives Wheel Come with the Name Later another Power Clam to counteract with their own push. Didn't really happen. Obama was able to stuff them out, and they had to go the long way around. So for Will Come with the Name Later, just great coordination overall. But for Obamna coming into the second map overall, you want to see obviously go to the 1-1 tie for them. I kind of wouldn't be shocked if that restarter for either team makes an appearance. It's going to be the question is going to be which flavor of weapon with the restarters are they going to dish out. I feel like we're going to have to probably play a guessing game until we get to see the weapons load in.
I mean, we've seen Obamna stick with that. Like I think Probigeki's Tetradulies, even when they were kind of down on their luck when it came down to positioning and push timing here, they still had a lot of their aggressive moments, and that's just what you want to be doing as the Tetradulies here. You just have you have the ability to take space, maybe unlike a lot of the other weapons, the dually class, and maybe unlike a lot of the other frontline weapons that you usually see here, and it can leave a lot of teams kind of left in the dust of the Tetradulies set for whole dash rolls. So let's see what's in store with us. The guessing game is about to end.
The guessing game may have to wait a little bit longer here, Frostix. Look like they was taking a bit. It's time to load in here. No surprise here. Looks like the weapons are going to be the exact same from Will Come with the Name Later. We're gonna play fire with fire here. There is no Reef Slider on the board. Instead, they're gonna play with what I believe. Yeah, it will be a dueling S blast battle between Jacob and Digidao coming in here. That's actually kind of interesting because again, some teams will want to prioritize Reef Slider there, but instead of the Tetras, you just get to see the Cuss Blaster. So that's gonna be the ultimate question. But we're not gonna have time to dissect all that. Will Come with a Name Later immediately gets the immediate wipeout, and that's just a rough opener for Obama, even though they got points on the board.
They did get points on the board, but I think 3 members of Obamna really tried to fight Mayhem against the Crab, and then they all go down one by one before Mayhem goes down to Carl's Crab. But now, Will Come with a Name Later. They have a lot of space going down in their hands. They are almost through the 60-point threshold, which will allow the water level to drop in due time. And oh, there it is, at 61 points. The water level has dropped and will allow, I think, especially Maro Rossi, the roller on Will Come with a Name Later, to just have a lot more space to work around, a lot more space to shark in, and just a lot more opportunities to make an impact. As they are still holding the space, they have a Crab Tank ready to go. They're holding Obamna in their in their court without them even trying to push that deep.
It's not often you only get to see the 61 points remaining and the water level drop just at that exact moment there. Obama, that would have been a great time for them to see if they can push forward with the new map terrain, but they came up just a bit short, and they lose 2 members as well. The Crab Tank I did get shut down earlier, so it's just a blown Buoy Bomb that's available with the points slowly trickling down, and they had to start striking soon. They expect the missiles to the Crab Tank, the triple splashdown to come out just like that. They do not get control off of the specials they just farmed, but they will have to follow it up with the main weapons to take out a few more. The triple across the entire team is pretty much there in play. Obama, not the full cap that they wanted right out of the gate, but they were able to follow it up by taking 3 members down. They do stay alive at the very least.
I was so convinced that they would have gotten that zone. They committed a full trip splashdown and a Booyah Bomb, but now we're seeing Will Come with the Name Later striking back Maro Rossi, heralding the charge, a Booyah Bomb coming in from the S-Blast here, and they are not allowing that zone to remain blue for any longer. I think Maro Rossi's not even taking the soda buff in order to stay hidden in their sharking efforts as the roller. Now they're getting spotted out by the burst bomb here. I think they're just trying to at least get in a good position. Carl, do you know that there's a roller? No, you don't! And they go down as they pop the crab. There's no crab for Obama, but here comes the missiles from the pros and Kokigeki's going down, and Silverlove is just holding down the islands over here. And now Will Come with a Name Later is out of their penalty points. Obama needs to strike, and strike they need to fast.
The problem is they need to use the Booyah Bomb, which they do not get the chance to do so, and because that might have been their best chance to get everything neutralized right out of the gate. But with a few members down and still staying clutch, Carl follows it up with the backup Crab Tank that was available, and they get an immediate zones cap. Now it's 1 point remaining in the 55 penalty points left. Now, for Obama, they keep this momentum up. We could be seeing a big swing coming in at the tail end of this. His 2 members have dropped. Will Come with a Name Later. It's going to have to go out of respawns. The pencil is still striking big. But I mean, Frostix, Obama still fighting strong at the very end.
and Krobigeki, I think, wisely holding on to that triple splashdown, especially when that Booyah Bomb comes in. Here comes the missiles from the pros in here. That splashdown is still ready to go. Here it comes again. Up 2 members down on will come with a name later. That isn't even from the splashdown. And Carl's Crab also holding down the line. Jacob also holding down the line with that with the S-Blast here. And I think Krobigeki is now their moment to strike here. They're all on the ledges here. No! None of them are going down, but they're in the single digits. They need to get this fast. No! Zone is in neutral. Will come with a name later. Oh, it's still in neutral. It is back and forth, but finally the zone is flipped in yellow. And that is 64 penalty points applied to Obamna.
You know, momentum is a very, very scary thing in games, let alone video games. This is a classic case of one where if Obamna was able to take that over the finish line and won the fights with their blaster, we could be talking about a major change with the team, 1 point remaining, losing at the end. But Will Come with the name later came out with huge at the tail end of it. Now the problem is, it's going to be down to 6 total points, and all the points taken down, no fight back to the zone just in time. Obamna got pressured out, and that's just the most unfortunate thing there for Obamna as they ran out of firepower towards the very end. Will Come with the name later. Hold on at the very end of that. They get the 2-0. That is the set win for them. They will go into game 3. Look up the 3-0 and the salvage game coming up here for Obamna.
I'm definitely intrigued on what this salvage game is going to go, and on how this salvage game is going to play out too, because I think Obamna put on a really, really solid show and had a lot of effort going in to Mahi Mahi. I think they switch up to a double blaster comp, really interesting on Obamna's end here, specifically the custom blaster from Krobigeki. I am a custom blaster fanboy, I will say, and it does play really well. It did, I think, Krobigeki as well as I think that was Jacob on the S-Blast on Obamna. They played really well together, making use of, you know, their AoE capabilities to just try to pressure out Will Come with a name later, specifically on that hold. We saw Jacob go on the left side, meanwhile Krobigeki on the right side, having those 2 blasters kind of be their watchers and at least have that initial line of defense really smart for them. And I'm just wondering, will that stay on something like Hagglefish, in which blasters kind of play really well in? Will we see just another switch up coming maybe from Obamna? Because I think you said it as we entered Mahi Mahi. I think we'll come with a name later. They're like really confident in their team. I mean, when they're running with like that aggressive roller as well as just the rest of the team, I wouldn't even debate switching as well.
You know, it went choppy. That's what it exactly is. It's like, all right, we played these 4 weapons really well together, but let's just run it the same way. Wouldn't be shocked if they do the same thing. Now, I did notice that there were different blaster varieties for Obamna here. I believe they had the custom range blaster. That's why I was wondering where the Kraken was coming from. They also had the custom blaster as well, so a little bit of different blaster gameplay across the board for Obamna at the very end. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go with a slight change here. Still in Love breaks all deviations here and decides to go with the Zeko Firefin charger there, as we do get to see the Neil Splash from Carl farming trip strikes for days there. Both teams are armed with GG specials on the board. Still in Love gets a trip strike of their own. Carl gets a trip strikes of their own. But with very, very different main weapons to supply here, Crossix.
Yeah, and then one more elephant in the room to note, Krobigeki has switched on to Vanilla Wiper, and I am the biggest Wiper fanboy known to man. So, of course, I gotta just, like, commend Krobigeki for choosing that as their as the front line on Obamna here. And now the hammer is coming out. Mayhem has gone down here. Will this be a hammer throw onto Still in Love? That connects Still in Love going down to Krobigeki's hammer. And that's just what Wiper is really good at, just flowing in and out of spaces and being able to just thrive and fight in a variety of elevations and high grounds, low grounds. Wiper can do it all. And now 2 members down on Obamna. They are still up in front, but finally Krobigeki does go down to Still in Love's Zekofin charger, as I think now we're seeing will come with a name later, trickling right back into mid.
The best thing about that Wiper is that the ultimate took out the crab, and then the amazing toss, knowing that, hey, there is going to be a member in that canopy. They're most likely our Zeko Firefin guy and Still in Love, trying to basically cause a lot of problems there. But at the end, they didn't even get through the first checkpoint quite yet. Now they are having a second attempt at it, this time with a little bit more aggression, and Krobigeki responds in kind by taking out that Charger and Still in Love. So that will be likely the first checkpoint being cleared unless there's a counter attack, which there is. Could be the counter attack from Moro Rossi, but Moro Rossi goes down. Valiant effort though at the very end there, but this is going to be two members approaching this first checkpoint. Now coming into the treacherous second one coming up here. Wavebomb's going to probably deter that and probably have them play patient. But so far, Frostix, a very different Obamna team so far with the way they've been playing.
Yeah, especially just with how much space and how much aggression they're bringing out. Will it let another... Oh, that is a second hammer throw connecting onto Still in Love's head top, and Kobigeki is not missing with these Ultra Stand throws so far. And they're just responding to all of the aggression and all the space taking that Will Come With A Name Later has brought out within the past two matches. They're able to at least keep Moro Rossi in check here. They're able to at least make sure Mayhem didn't get a lot of vantage ground. They're just constantly under pressure. Now we're seeing Kobigeki as well, just heralding this push. They have another hammer ready to go. They're past that second checkpoint here. Do they know the hammer's there? Does DJ Down notice that the Wiper's there? No, Kobigeki does go down. They're past that second checkpoint, however, and there's just a lot of momentum that Obamna is riding here. They're 26 points here with 2 minutes and 23 seconds left on the map.
Where was this particular comp from before? That's what I think most people will be wondering. Is like, hey, we could have probably dished out something incredible with these 4 weapons, but it kind of lends a little bit of truth to, hey, we're gonna just run this specifically for Hagglefish TC, and we're getting some amazing results out of them. So hey, that's a great start. Also, getting past that second checkpoint is awesome on this map alone, because that second checkpoint can be easily contestable so far. But don't count out Will Come With A Name Later. This has been the momentum game, to say the least, especially with what we saw from Mahi there. We got some of the trip strikes. The crafting also got burned earlier as well, and this push is still going strong. Kobigeki trying to chase one out, but they lost 2 by themselves. The Ultra Saiyan does take out 1, and Kobigeki saves the defenses there, but probably not for long as they run themselves into a Booyah Bomb. Mayhem's gonna be the one lurking large here on the second checkpoint. All they need to do is clear out everybody else and just continue to contest with all their might, keeping the timer alive as well, which has been smart for them so far. Mayhem uses this craft tank just to defend the right side, and unbelievably here, Frostix, 3 members going down. Will Come With A Name Later has had all the momentum in the back half of this map.
Exactly, they found their opportunity, managed to keep these threats like, say, Carl and Kobigeki in check here, and they are able to take the lead 26-20 here. There is under a minute left for Obamna to take this back, and already Mayhem's posted up around mid, so they're watching it. Moro Rossi is not going to be able to get a shark off with a direct from Jacob. The tri-strikes come out from Carl, and now I think that is that's 2 down on Obamna. 30 seconds left on the clock for Will Come With A Name Later. Already Kobigeki's gone down. Still in Love has tri-strikes ready to go, and they're just holding this position really solidly here. Jacob's going down as well as Squishy has gone down as well. The tri-strikes are coming out from Jacob as a last hurrah. Mayhem is being forced to back off to Still in Love here, and Kobigeki is trying to find their opportunity in. This is the last stand for Obamna. 10 seconds left on the clock. Kobigeki has gone down. Mayhem is now closing in on the tower. They get spotted out by Jacob. 2 down on both sides here. There's a tower jump being established, but DJ Dow is not going to allow that to happen. Same thing with Moro Rossi, and that is a 3-0 set sweep from Will Come With A Name Later. Even still, what a game from both teams.
Obamna was literally 2 amazing plays away from talking about a different set. At the very end though, it came down to Will Come With A Name Later winning out the back half of that push by rolling that through the second checkpoint. And I think Will Come With A Name Later probably wasn't ready for the major comp change and the major gameplay change that Kobigeki was dishing out with the Wiper. So using that first half to adjust, and then I guess halfway through the map you get to see the adjustments come on the full force on top of it too. One thing though for that map is there were trip strikes that were readily available here, Frostix, that Will Come With A Name Later could have used for GG specials, but they were shut down right before they could even use it. It didn't really matter though, because Obamna lost 2 on their own, so all that it led to was just relying on the main weapons and the positioning that they needed to take home that tower. And Frostix, that was a fun little 3-0 we just saw.
It was still a 3-0, but a fun little 3-0 indeed. That is still more points on the board for Will Come With A Name Later, but best of luck for both of these teams as the Swiss group stage of Loic Day 1 continues to advance forward.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of time for both teams to recover. Will come with a net name later. Not recovering at all. They continue on with 2-0. Obamna will tie it up 1-1. And real quickly here, let's take a look at the sets here that we have coming up so far. It looks like we do have the 1-1 tie, with the 1-1 tie currently between Reignfall and Rising Beyond the Tides. Definitely that map still in progress there, but to continue a discussion that Frostix also had from round 1 is just seeing the amount of 2-1s we saw right away. I've noted before, you'll be seeing a lot more 2-1s, a lot of closely competitive sets as the Swiss stages does continue on forward. So hey, but hey, that's just how the nature of Swiss goes here in for low link day 1 especially. But right now Reignfall and Rising Beyond the Tides game still definitely in progress among others, and we do get to see some other teams that we have, especially Honorbound winning their sets here. The Drexel pickup team, I do see that team. They're getting that dub over Hydra, among other names such as Reef Runner, also getting the 2-1 over Black Squid Ink Burgers for results. We'll taking a quick glance at Group A here with the sets that are also playing out in progress. Looks like Group A, the team this time finishing up all their sets here. Everybody being punctual and on time so far. Notable results that we saw here: the Coalition, which is a great name, gained that 3-0. This is fine fun to Glitterburst with the 2-1 going to Glitterbursts, and among other results that we are seeing here, SGC Star Guardians of Chaos 2-1 over Inkception as well. Krill Streak, by the way, 3-0 over My Friend's Cat, which is an amazing which has been amazing so far to see Krill Streak just still continuing to deliver just as well. We will likely get our next matchup queued up here. I mean, I'm taking a quick look here to see if Group B is still in progress, especially with that one map. But while that is still in progress, I'm going to give you guys a quick reminder here, because next month is IPL's biggest major once more. Because guess what? Super Jump 7 is coming up in December 6th to the 7th. If you guys know Super Jump from months prior, well, then you know the drill. But if not, it is IPL's major here. 2-day event. All teams will make it to day 2 with different brackets for all different levels. If you do want to, this event, takes place from December 6th to the 7th, so you don't want to miss you don't want to miss this event. To sign up and to get some more information about this particular major, go to start.gg/SJ for more details, and we hope to see you guys next month for Super Jump. And Frostix, I love to see this IPL's biggest major get a lot of traction. Hopefully we get to see a lot of different teams participate.
Yep. I specifically was watching the coach of my team play in low link last month. Damage of Clown Syndicate, if I remember correctly, that was his team name. So it's always good to see what is in store for Super Jump just whenever it comes around. So of course, December 6th to the 7th, sign up on start.gg as per usual Super Jumps, and we hope to see you there.
Yeah, we will hope to see you there, and of course, stream will of course be here on IPL as well. But there will be more discussions of that coming up here, because I do believe we do have our third set coming up here to get us going. Once we're about to be approaching the halfway marker of day 1, and every team will be approaching that. We'll be continuing this gauntlet a little bit more. Pandemonium and Clownfish. Now both teams are established. We're not dealing with double pickup names, to say the least, here at Frostix. Clownfish so far participating in last month's low link, finishing place around the top 50 marker, looking to see if they can get a better result. Same deal with Pandemonium, finishing around top 40 for October, the last month's low link. So both teams looking for better results coming up.
I'm gonna be real with you. I have history with both of these teams.
Go!
Pandemonium was, if I'm pretty sure, I think the winner of SBA Season 3, which was my season of SBA here. Big shoutouts to Cosme, Aster, Butchignook, and Shellnix. If you are watching the stream from the Critter Garden server, do well. And Clownfish? Clownfish was the first team I tried out for all the way back in 2019. I'm not sure if Arbiter and Adept remember me, but Hi guys. Because I think Clownfish as a little history lesson, they started off as a team that was under the astronomy umbrella. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's safe to say that you may know both teams very well coming into this.
I do. Yeah, I know I know a couple of the Pandemonium members, and I know I knew Clownfish's leader. I haven't really talked to them in a while, but I'm glad to see them again.
I'm glad to see you have some familiarity, because you know full well with me. I love people that know both teams well, especially you in this case. I'll give you something that might help you with a picture here. Both teams are 1-1 in their sets so far. So now we're approaching the point where the team around that 2-1 range, you could still be vying for contention for alpha. But you gotta be very clean the rest of the way, pretty much around the cusp of beta. And the team going down to 1-2 needs a handful of miracles to make it to alpha, most likely gearing towards beta and gamma at this stage. So to say the least for both teams, and the relations that you may have, this is probably their must-win set if anything.
Definitely so here, and yeah, it's like you're saying, all of this is kind of on, like, a lot is at stake here. There has been, stakes have been cooking, they have been basting, and then they have been basting with butter. So let's go into the map's presence. We're starting on Rainmaker Undertow Spillway, then onto Crab Leg Clam Blitz. Me and my team love to play on this one recently, and of course, the darling of Splatoon 3's maps, Robo Ramen Zones.
You know, I think some people may want to fight you on the darling of all Splatoon maps there with in terms of zones, but I think I will fully agree with you there for ramen zones. We're not going to get a chance to talk about Undertow Rainmaker and how much of a staple this is. Both teams are geared up and ready to go to get things started here. As we take a look at both weapons, Forge Pro making its appearance here for Pandemonium. Cosby has the hands on that. Adept this time with the Gluga Doolies there. So we do get to see Booyah Bombs from both sides, though not conventional to say the least here, Frostix.
Not conventional, indeed, and already Pumpkin is going down. Same thing with Shellnix, and Adept is just being the answer to all of that. Arbiter is just heralding the push, painting a orange brick road for Clownfish in their signature Clownfish orange, surprisingly. Pumpkin's going down as well, but here it comes. I think that's Cosme with the Crab Tank, not allowing Clownfish to get to that first checkpoint. Arbiter, unfortunately, going down right then and there. Shellnix going down to a set of missiles from, I think that is the Proton. It took me too long to see the Proton.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll give you some time to recover and make sure of that one. I was actually more impressed, by the way, that two members flying a little too close to the Rainmaker explosion and get severely punished by Pandemonium. All things considered, it doesn't hurt them too much. All it did was force the Rainmaker reset at the very end. Arbiter is still painting for some control right now, but Acer, by the way, with the Crab Tank, seeing if they can pressure them out a little bit further, building up the space for the rest of the team to follow suit. But both the two members losing the 1v1s though at the end, and Acer's the only one alive, and Acer's just gonna have to retreat. This is gonna give Clownfish some time to regain some ground and pick up this Rainmaker. They're looking for the first checkpoint pretty soon. They might be able to get it. They might be able to get it right now, Frostix.
Yeah, definitely. So that Booyah Bomb from Adept just giving them a lot more space. Already 2 down on Pandemonium. That Toxic Mist is going to be a little bit of an impede, but now the Doolies are gone down. And finally, Clownfish breaks the first checkpoints courtesy of Arbiter. And now Clownfish are going even further. They're going to be able to get rid of Pumpkin, potentially Cosme as well, thanks to adept use of the Galuga Doolies. But no! Look behind you, Slow! That is a Aster, and great!
Yeah, Acer is just lurking at the grates and just completely catches them by surprise. And that actually solves out a push that could have easily had a high potential for this push to go close to the goal, but at the end they were just cut a little bit short at the end. And this gives Pandemonium some time to get a push of their own. Still plenty of time on the board here, to say the least. As Pandemonium, by the way, they have the Booyah Bomb, and I believe the Crab Tank, if I'm not mistaken, available from their Stamper as well. So I'm looking to see how that's all going to materialize together, but they are going to have to wait this out just a little bit longer right now as they're trying to find ways to get some junk cleared out here. Pandemonium is playing a little bit defensively for now, and Pandemonium will get the first Rainmaker pickup here. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock, and Slow is going to retreat opposite to their name, and Pandemonium is still biding their time. They are going to have to slow this one by a bit here, Frostix.
Yeah, they do like have to probably play things a lot more capable, like not capability, but like a lot more calculated here. But speaking of slow, I think they were the ones just raining down Heckfire and just drowning out Pandemonium in orange ink, not allowing them to even get through the steps towards the first checkpoint. And Adept once again leading this charge, taking this initiative here. Here come the missiles from the pros in here, and then here comes Azuka as well from Pandemonium here, potentially trying to get rid of Sunny. There's a crab tank being popped from Aster, who's getting rid of the Rainmaker. Slow is going to be able to get rid of Cosme. It is an all-out skirmish in mid. Pumpkin's trying to make the move, but they get shut down to Arbiter as well.
Yeah, I saw the idea with the carbon roller, just trying to catch them by surprise, but missing the flick is a doom sentence, to say the least, because there was no paint around them, and they couldn't clear out the space that they so needed, which is going to give Clownfish some time to recapture the other half of the map. And with the 3 members down, this could be a big lead here because it's not quite into stall territory. That's the delayed wipeout. They're pushing towards the left-hand side. Sunny and everybody else has to go through the Teal lane, but Sunny goes a little bit too far for their own good as they get cut down. Adepto using the Booyah Bomb to at least clear the Rainmaker bubble. It's a 2-for-2 trade, but this is going to be Arbiter somehow staying alive and actually taking out a trade by themselves. But Aster and everybody else will regain the ground. This is going to be a Rainmaker reset, I believe, and there's really going to be only one more pickup left for Pandemonium, maybe 2 if they are able to play their cards right. Clownfish might be looking to pick this one and hope for a good stall, but there's still plenty of time left for Pandemonium to get some major ground going. Less than 30 seconds left to go on the clock here. Frostix, critical end coming up.
Exactly, there is now 20 seconds left on the clock for Pandemonium to get the ball rolling. Already Pumpkin has gone down. There is a crab tank at least to be popped from Shellnix at least. But now, Aster, no, you go down to a bomb. I think either that or go down to Sunny's, to either Sunny or to Adept here. And Adept is just holding down the line with this angle that they're setting up with the splash wall. Now already they're trying to move in. Shellnix does have the Rainmaker. This is Pandemonium's last shot, and they cannot afford to miss it. Watch out for that bomb, Shellnix. Good on you for dodging that bomb. But now here comes Adept once more, trying to at least hold down the line with these angles, with the positions that they're taking here. We're already approaching halfway through overtime. Adept has gone down. Here comes the strikes from Arbiter, and now Shellnix knows what they have to do. They need to get the ball rolling. It is only, I think, the Frozen or the Octo Shot here. They have that first checkpoint in their sights. Will they be able to get it amidst all of this gunfire? Yes, they are. And now overtime is being reset. And now this is the moment for Pandemonium to get going here. Watch out for the bomb again. Yes, watch out for the crab tank. There it is. There's the lead. Pandemonium does it, and they get the lead in overtime.
Unreal, to say the least. Clownfish, 51 points remaining, and Pandemonium swings it from mid all the way to where they needed to go. A discussion of amazing patience, and also what I thought was gonna be the beginning of the end for the game, but no, Pandemonium holds on. Now, what you saw from that pick there with the Rainmaker pickup, I believe that was an interaction with the crab tank, because I believe when you throw the bomb at the crab tank, it explodes right where the radius was, and that is how we saw the Rainmaker drop. I was thinking, all right, this could be a done deal, I forgot who was on Rainmaker duty right there, Frostix, with the way that was all materializing. Smart on them to return back to make sure that the rest of the team moves forward. Now, in most cases, with the advantage that they got, you could rush forward and look for that first checkpoint and see where they go from there. But they played their cards right, wait for the patience, because if you swing that close to where that 51 point marker is, that was going to be huge at the very end. And Frostix, incredible patience with Pandemonium, and Clownfish will probably be stung a little bit with that first map loss.
I mean, if you want the answer to who is on Rainmaker duty, give all your kudos to the amazing Shellnix on Pandemonium. They were able to keep everything under pressure, and even in the midst of just so much going on, bombs coming in left and right, a full-on crab tank on elevation, they press forward like Sisyphus rolling the boulder, and they roll it to the top, at least enough to get the lead. So that's Pandemonium getting that first map here. That's a lot more momentum on their end. So now it goes down to game 2. Clam Blitz, Crab Leg Capital. Third try.
This wouldn't be the first time I would hear. I thought you were about to say Crab Leg Capital Cram Blitz there for a hot sec, which that would just be a split words a minute and a half for those who are wondering. But I mean, Crab Leg Capital Clam Blitz. the most unconventional of Clan Blitz maps now, by the way. I think there are other maps that places tend to prioritize, but so we don't normally get to see this here. So this one gets a little interesting with the weapon picks if both teams want to dish out any changes. That's what we're gonna about to see in a bit here, because the ramp up is really your only way to get a push started. So that the question is how do you get the clearance that you need to make that one all count? And so far, it seems like the answer for Pandemonium is just double Crab Tank, and the Arbiters are just gonna respond with their own Crab Tank. However, this is gonna be like, this is, if I'm not mistaken, 1 Crab Tank versus 2, but the cooler option is available on Clownfish in the form of slow going to the end zap. Sunny, by the way, also switching to the brush as well. A lot of changes, to say the least. At the end of the day, there's going to be 3 Crab Tanks on the board for both teams here, Frostix.
Yeah, we are going to, well, it's called Crab Leg Capital for a reason, I guess.
Yep.
Fork of crabs found in, crabs found in Crab Leg, fork found in kitchen. Now we're already seeing Pandemonium trying to move in, heralded by Pumpkin, finally getting a lot of action on that carbon roller. Here comes a crab from Pandemonium here, firing off on the grates. And now a Booyah Bomb is also being charged from Pandemonium here. They have there's just too much words that start with C here. There's a barrier break for Pandemonium here, but will they have the follow-up? Yes, they pushed the lead to 74 here, but with Pumpkin barely making it out alive, I think that's the end of that push.
You know what? At least you get the first points on the board with less than a minute left to go on the clock, but that is a free claim that Clownfish could take full advantage of, because ideally you want to get that push a little bit more just to avoid dealing with some nonsense with the free claim. I believe Arbiter's gotten Cosme's number counted there, as that is gonna be Cosme dropping just like that. And that's the second snipe, this time on the Shell Nix from Arbiter, and Arbiter's gonna try to see if they can follow it up with a third, but that is gonna be the space that Clownfish needs. And now Arbiter using the crafting for the long range redundancy is gonna at least clear the space that they need. The question is the follow-up, and right now that is a lead change at the end, but can they get a little bit more pushing power? The answer is very much yes. They are losing 2. Sunny is still playing this one a little bit more aggro, actually picking up 2 clamps and is able to dodge through all the ink and all the fight back from Pandemonium. But this should be the end of this push imminently here, and that's a great response here from Frostix, and they do keep their own free clam back at base.
It's safe to say ankles have been broken, all thanks to Sunny's switch to the brush here. And now 53 to 74, that's a really good lead you can take, but Pandemonium has 2 power clams in their back pocket. Let's see what could happen. We also have a crab tank ready to go from the V-Dualies here. Cosme is going to be able to get rid of slow. They have a Booyah Bomb ready to go. This can start opening up the road for Pandemonium. It's being sent deep into the backline, potentially getting rid of Arbiter, not just yet. The power clam does go down. It is still up ahead here. I think the crab tank trying to get some damage done. They are able to get rid of the zap here, and Shellnix is just able to salvage at least one of the power claims, but it just does not look like there's a lot of movement and a lot of barrier breaking going on right now, and Clownfish holding down the line very, very keenly.
Yeah, the big thing for Pandemonium is the fact that they were able to keep a lot of control around Clownfish's base when they could, so they could have attempted a couple times to get a push going, but they weren't able to do so, with Clownfish able to respond very much in kind. And that's just kind of what we are seeing here at the end for Pandemonium, is even though you did try to gain some ground, you just couldn't get much out of it. And Clownfish, I think that's more credit to just how they're able to hold their ground, and Pandemonium just going a little too fast for their own good with that Booyah Bomb, trying to combo that with a push of their own in that regard. Cosme throws this Booyah Bomb. They were having to do with an adjusted elevation due to where they popped it close to the ledge, and they will be cut down here. And Pandemonium still with some control. They picked up the free claim back at base, trying to see if they can get a push started for themselves, because they are the team in the deficit. Sunny is just staying there with the ink that's on the board, and is finally going to be moving out of there. With a minute and 22 seconds left to go on the clock here, Frostix, this push needs to count for Pandemonium.
Yeah, this needs to happen, and it needs to happen maybe a little bit faster, but no, 2 down, going down on Pandemonium. Shellnix does pick up the power clamp to salvage a potential push to come, but oh no, Sunny has unfortunately disconnected, and with 1 minute left on the match, that is potentially crucial for that is potentially brutal on Clownfish's end. It's only Arbiter left, and Cosme is just hunting them down, having their Heat Seek turned on, and that's a barrier break for Pandemonium, and a lead being taken by Pandemonium as well. This basket is still held open in full. It's at push to 25 now. Aster is jumping in with 2 more power clamps to throw it in, and Cosme is just taking the fight to the backline. That's another wipeout. Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, this is just a classic case of when you're dealing with a major deficit in the DC, the most you can just hope for is just for a lot more fight back at the very end and just try to defend it with all your might. It was still they were in the driver's seat in terms of the points. I wouldn't say driver's seat, that may have been a bit generous, but the idea is they had the lead. To say the least, there for confidence then. But when you're in a purple 1-down situation with the brush basically gone with your main skirmisher, it's just an uphill battle. And Clownfish, I think, may have just Clownfish is still trying to make something count right now. Actually, they are winning some of the fights here with the 2 members that have dropped, but now with losing 2 on the other side of the map, Arbiter's probably just gonna have to settle with just standing back at base and realizing we may have to just take this over to a game 3 with a set tie 1-1. And that's just a classic case of when you're just that perma 1 down, you just don't have enough firepower and the lead changes. You gotta play perfectly. This just didn't what happened here. But Frostix, we're queuing up to game 3, and this is now a deciding matter between which team goes 2-1 and the other team going 1-2.
Yeah, so it is now a 2-0 set win for Pandemonium at the moment here, and they're still riding a lot more momentum on their end as we now go on to the salvage game. Game 3, Splat Zone's Roboramen, and I think both of these teams have the means to play this very, very well.
Yeah, I can definitely see there. Yeah, you were right on the money. I've gotten my teams mixed up there. Yes, it was the 2-0 set win over Pandemonium. For some reason, I thought it was the 1-1. 1-1. That is on me for misreading that one. But thank you for covering me for that one. But yeah, Ramen Zone's coming up here, and I know for Clownfish, a bit of a bummer there with the disconnect. But now you just gotta get yourself reset and just try to play out this game 3 here in Ramen Zones. Try to see if you can at least make it to a 2-1 versus a 3-0 for Pandemonium. And for Pandemonium, you can just try to ride that momentum for the dub here in Ramen Zones. I think the way that both teams have approached the weapons so far, I wouldn't be shocked if we do get adjustments. The question will ultimately be is what kind of adjustments will we see from both teams? Because honestly, it could just be anything at this point with the weapons that we have seen so far.
Yeah, it really just kind of... We already saw that Clownfish wanted to go for a little bit of a more drastic switch up. I think they still had Adept on the dualies, but also one more weapon, because I knew Arbiter and Sunny switched to 2 completely different weapons from their game 1. So really, we'll just have to see what's in store for game 3.
And for Pandemonium, that will be the improvement, by the way, to that 2-1 record here. And I know Clownfish would have ideally liked to have a chance for that 2-1, but they'll have to settle for the 1-2 here. And for both teams now looking for past map 3 is, all right, how do you ride that to possibly a bracket qualifier here? Because that 1-2 will be a little bit rough for Clownfish, especially with the opponents coming up here. But for Pandemonium, how do you prove yourselves right now? That's going to be the big thing, as you do get to see a wholesale of different weapons here from Clownfish. Pandemonium, the only team really to just stick with what they have. Arbiter's on the Nautilus, slows on that Rapid Blaster Pro, this time with the cooler. Adept has the Glucose once more, and Sunny off the brush and onto the, I believe, the Octoshot as well. So that is just a whole set of different weapons here, to say the least, Frostix.
Yeah, that's another big switch up on the side of Clownfish here. And I think we're seeing a lot of weapon trading this time, because we saw Arbiter on the Octoshot in game 1. I think that's in the hands of Sunny now. But now that's a wipeout for Pandemonium, and already they're moving in with Cosme and Shellnix at the helm here, and they're already trying to just pressure them out with their weapon ranges here. Shellnix is in a bit of a pickle here, but they are able to at least get 2 members down on Clownfish, and this is a very, very strong opening for them.
Big opening there, and for Clownfish, you just gotta get everybody cleared out of the board. Just get Shellnix out of there right now, just so you can regain some space and hope to build it with your specials, such as the Blue Bomb being used there, and Arbiter on that Nautilus. That's where I need to see them get that space cleared out and hope that they can contest, which should be rather soon here. I saw the triples Ink Strike's being used, but they are losing ground quickly, but maybe for only a few seconds as 2 members have dropped. Sheldix is actually keeping the paint alive for their team. Unbelievably, there's no contest so far. Clownfish is pretty much playing defensively. They're the third Ink Strike lands, and this could be the 100-0 for Pandemonium, which it very much is. And Pandemonium goes home 3-0 with a clean map 3 to say the least.
Wow. What a match. That happened 100-0. That was a blitzkrieg from Pandemonium. So, wow. What a game to close out round 3.
And I can only imagine on the side of Clownfish, their Frostix is you look back to the game too, how you had really good control there, and I think with the way Sunny was kind of just staying on the enemy ink without moving, it's like, oh, this could just be the beginning of the end here with the inevitable. The claw machine just ripped Sunny out of the game situation there, and that's kind of what we ended up seeing at the end. It's unfortunate too because it was basically a major swing from the set, from what I thought from a 1-1 tie to now a 2-0 with dub there for Pandemonium. So Pandemonium will take that home with the 3-0, and Clownfish will have to just pick things back up, entering the round 4 with the 1-2 record. But Frostix, we got the taste of the 6 different teams we saw so far in the first 3 rounds and how they're all faring out.
It has been an amazing first half of day 1 here, Kyon. We've been seeing so much different action coming from a lot of usuals from Low-Ink, a lot of new faces from Low-Ink, and there is still going to be a whole 3 more rounds of Swiss coming up, but I'm afraid this is where the road ends for us.
Yeah, this is definitely where the road ends for us here, Frostix. We got 2 fresh new commentators that will take you guys home for rounds 4, 5, and 6. But of course, all the teams are definitely not done. They got a gauntlet to continue on. Frostix, where can the people find you?
Of course, the good people of Twitch chat and the people of YouTube chat can find me on Twitter at TK_Frostix, at Blue Sky at Frostix.bluesky.social, and if you want to support some of my own personal work, you can read my web novel Gappy on Wattpad. Anyways, I don't want to get sidetracked. Kyon, where can the good people of chat find you?
You can find me recovering from watching 2 basketball teams play on a neon green court by going to another basketball game later tonight. But if you want to find me on social media, find me on Blue Sky Kyon2570 Blue Sky Social, and on Twitch Kyon2570 as well. I do all the nonsense of streaming whenever I can, and of course all the nonsense posting I have. By the way, shout out once again to our producer Sam that's continuing on the production. But Sam, you're still gonna be sticking around for a little bit longer there, because two commentators, Rosa Battle and Jolty on Jack, will take you home for rounds 4 to 6 and the conclusion of day 1. Don't go anywhere. More Low-Ink will be continuing right after the break.
Hello and welcome back to Low Ink November. My name is Rose of Battle and I'm joined by Jolteon Jack. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite good, Rose. Happy to be back on the air with you as we're ready to get into the game right here of Land Crabs versus Reignfall. Some teams that, while I'm not familiar with, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do here tonight.
Yeah, both teams are currently with 2 wins so far, 2 set wins out of the 3 sets that we've played so far. Definitely, as we're now approaching the second half of day 1, all of our teams here are going to want to be racking up these wins as they're going to be fighting more and more opponents who are around where they are, and they definitely want to make sure if they want to go to day 2, they got to clinch these set wins. I've seen both of these teams in Anarchy Opens a lot. Very funny when my team Malibu Rising sometimes, like, let's hop on for some sillies in Anarchy Opens. I'll see that double lowercase I team tag for Land Crabs. Sometimes I'll see the backwards R and some other strange character for Reignfall. And I've seen both of these teams play very well. I know DHVF I've seen the most often as the captain for Reignfall. I tend to see more on a support shooter like a Zap, but can go nuts on Zap. I always love seeing an end Zap that's like, I'm coolered, you know, like, I'm ready, let's go.
Just you could cock the Zap, the toy gun, and just it's time to duck hunt, baby. Yeah, similarly on the side of Land Crabs, their team captain Wendigo, I believe, it seems to be a very heavy backline player. Still cooler with that headed and pencil play, which I expect we'll be seeing a lot of. Especially since our first game is going to be on Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy, a map where both of those weapons are very good.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Tower Control on Inkblot especially really rewards teams who are going to go in and take that space and play aggressively.
Yeah, well, we'll see how aggressive they can be. Catboy over there with not the headed, but a normal heavy splatling matched by a mini splatling as well as a rapid blaster camo from the side of Land Crabs here. Aside from that, the rest of the comps is something you would see during this. I would say I would not expect to see V-Dread here, but after what I saw in July on SOS, that changed my mind because I have seen the power of Dreadringer on with this map on Tower Control. Already early stamp by Wendigo just to clear some space. They already have Tower Control, are pushing in 2 down on the side of Reignfall. Make it 3 with some strikes to back it up, but there is a Reef Slider that they do need to be worried about. They're going to play patient here, try to get a stamp kill or 2.
Yeah, and you see this hammer being used to clear out that space on bats. Both that Dreadringer over on Reignfall and Yang's over on Land Crabs, that Tri-Slosher, really great weapons for fighting here on Inkblot in particular. But you've really seen how Land Crabs is playing so aggressively. They've really been holding onto this so far. And even though they've been losing players, they've still kept the momentum. And it's still going. As you can see, they're on a warpath.
I mean, with the wipeout right there, they made it past the second checkpoint right now and on their way for the third. It does seem that they abandoned no, they're still on tower right now. I thought Wendigo was the tower rider for a moment. I got very concerned of like, why'd you drop tower right there? You had so much space. No, they are very much hanging on there, and they're about to get to the second one. The splash damage on that hammer. Oh my god, that was insane.
And they're clearing the third checkpoint now. They are ready to bring this to the end. They just need to get themselves on the tower, but they are starting to get picked off. Reignfall may be starting to stabilize here. DHVF on this end zap already putting that paint down in mid, get that special ready. People are going to get coolered up, which means they can go in, take these really aggressive fights, but they are going to need to move forward as a unit. Zuka might do the trick. He's going to clear some space, not get a peck. They are going to lose 2 members of their team. They're doing their best to stay alive here. We don't want to give up too much ground.
I don't know how that member of Land Crabs managed to make it in the way of Reignfall's base, but they are quickly picked off by a double team right now. There's now 3 down on the side of Land Crabs, and Reignfall got 2 specials at their disposal. This will be lovely for this push right here. Some strikes are going to come out and force them off the tower, give Land Crabs a little bit more time to readjust, but they need to bring it in right now. Reef Slider coming out right here, gets canceled very quickly. Strikes once again coming out, going to force Reignfall to get off of the tower, and they're scattered, and that is a wipeout again for the Land Crabs.
Landcrafts has been doing really, really well on getting these picks in together. And just like that, map control completely swings over to them. Yang gets a really nice pick, a second really good pick with that inkjet. Just laser sights, you're down, get down. And the momentum is so strong. They have such a good lead, but they're not gonna let up on the gas.
This Slosher is oppressive right now. 2 down on the side of Reignfall, and they got a stamp and strikes ready to go. So once again, a beautiful, beautiful stamp throw right there. Unfortunately, Inoki falls off to the side, meaning that Reef Slider is not going to get what they need. Yang, once again, just being a great slayer and built another inkjet to pressure the backline of Reignfall. Almost gets taken out by that suction bomb right there, but is going around downtown. It does manage to get the slat lane right there. They make it to only 2 points left, but Reignfall is fighting for control right now, trying to get out here. Demon fighting Wendigo, trying to force them back. They does halt the Paragus a little bit. The tower is moving back to mid, and it does seem like they do halt Reignfall's progression, but no, Jennifer is right here as well.
Jenny's like, don't forget about me. I think wisely backing off of the tower at this point, but just was able to eat up a teeny bit more time while the rest of their team was going to get in. Catboy here, holding down the fort, but Reignfall has 1 minute left to go and has to essentially get a knockout. But at this point, with 2 members down on their team, it's going to be really, 3 members down. It's going to be so hard to get that control they need in order to move forward.
Jennifer right here, wonderful bomb placement in support of their Tri-Slosher on the team. A stamp coming out right there, barely missed. That stamp throw barely misses. That Wavebreaker hopefully going to dissuade anybody from picking the tower, but it will be very easily shredded with that location down there. Reignfall is just trying to find an opening. They need to play for picks right here, play for paint. But with how much paint Landcrafts has with this comp, thanks to that mini, thanks to that slosh. Another downtown hammer throw. If there is one weapon that belongs in the NBA from this game, it is the mini Splatling. It does get canceled right here due to Demon's wonderful wonderful little Zuka right there, and this does seem to force the rest of Landcrafts back into base, but right now Reignfall is feeding right now. 3v3 right now. They need to get on tower with only 5 seconds left on the clock. Forces a jump out right here. This is the start to the push they need, but they need to be careful as Landcraft has got all hands on deck right here as we are going into overtime, folks.
That Zuka coming out, able to get one of those picks, but the strikes are coming out, and no, just a perfect GG strike. You throw it, the person on the tower dies, you hop yourself on. Really, really great work, teamwork-wise. Landcrabs played that so well. That was a really dominant game.
Oh, very much so. For the first 3 minutes, the tower did not move to Reignfall's side of offense right there, allowing for Landcrafts to just keep a constant stream of pressure in their special usage. We saw a lot of combos, but a good thing about specials as well as this game is just making sure that you can properly get one after the other, even if they're not at the same time. Using trading off a special of stamping in and then using your inkjet or vice versa. The strike's always being used after to help get a person in or out. Stuff like that is wonderful usage of team coordination right here, and that's the level of play that we're seeing here in Low Ink and with these 2 undefeated teams. Let's see if Reignfall is able to bring it back as we head to Crab Leg Capital, a Rainmaker right here. A mode you typically don't see this level of competitive play, but I actually quite like this map mode. It's very, very dynamic, though it can be pretty oppressive, just like Inkblot Tower.
Yeah, I like playing, well, rather, I don't like playing it, but I like watching it. There are a lot of
I can agree with that. I can very much agree with that.
In this
It's a
run,
very pretty map to watch.
If I'm on the mic, I love it. If the controller's in my hands, I hate it.
I can agree with that, but maybe it's because I'm Rainmaker carrier, but I'm just used to it at this point, where I'm just like, yep, let's just go, and we just have to deal with it. But I mean, it's a map that you can very easily get pushed back into, especially if you are like hard focusing that left side instead of. But I see a lot more teams at this level of play take it that like shortcut, not on the greats, but like jumping directly from the podium on the offensive left side or right side of defensive. Maps being flipped depending on what side you're on does make it a bit hard for us to do our jobs, folks.
Yeah, I think you can go either way on this map. It is really set up where it is so dependent on where both teams are set up. and where things are moving, that right side as you're pushing forward really is going to challenge you to make sure you're clearing space, using your resources effectively. And I see that we've still got that Rapid out with the Tacticooler. Wendigo is on, Lettuce is on that still. Wendigo swapping to the Zuka mini, so we won't have hammers from a mini this time. We will have Zukas instead. I don't know which people prefer to fight.
Remy is very, very hard to deal with, especially with just how many Zukas it generates. I mean, we're already seeing how many like stamps came out that game. I think it was like somewhere close to 8. We're seeing right now 3 down on the side of Reignfall. Yang once again just being offensive pressure, painting up for the team right here, able to get the final Guardian of that podium right there. Now they're just trying to avoid getting snuck up on and avoiding any bombs that come their way, but Lettuce gets a free little checkpoint grab right there. Zuka coming out right here, barely misses, but that is a wipeout on the side of the land crabs. Wonderful distraction by Wendigo and Yang. Another wipeout on that poor guy who respawned too early, and another one!
Oh my gosh, Wendigo. That's dirty. That's dirty. But they're going, the land crabs are going, hey, land crabs, crab leg, this is our turf. This is our map. We're taking it. And we're going to use Zuka after Zuka to push you back as you spawn in. DHF gonna get a nice Rainmaker kill though. They were able to stop the knockout just like they did on that previous game on Inkblot. But again, that's a long mountain they have to climb.
I mean, but it seems like here they're trying to do it. A Bazooka shot does take down the Rainmaker right there, but I was seeing some good movement from Rainfall's Rainmaker carrier right here. Yang looking to assist their teammate, does able to get the Vengeance kill right now. Going on the flank maybe as Rainfall does get checked right here. With the mini Splatling, you're not able to break that bubble as quickly, but they have brought it. And now it's the thing that you have to do when you pick up Rainmaker and most of your team is down is you just send it. Get some extra points beyond checkpoint, but that is once again a wipeout for the land crabs.
That's going to be again, they've got a mountain to climb. Getting past 10, I think on this map, unless you get a wipeout on that team when you're pushing forward on either side, it can be awfully difficult to get that. But you never know in Rainmaker. One of my favorite modes to spectate. You never know what's going to happen, especially in low ink. Catboy here on the Splatling, moving forward, but getting pressured, is able to at least secure a trade here. But at this point, trades are not going to be benefiting Reignfall. That's going to be all for Land Crab's favor. They want to make sure that even if they go down in a trade, they keep at least a neutral state. That is the beauty of when you've got such a nice lead here.
Oh, it seems like we have a bit of a connection issue as one member of Reignfall is seemingly disconnected from the match. Unfortunately, since both teams have made it past their first checkpoint as well as we're over halfway within the match, we will have to continue right now, and Reignfall somehow needs to make this comeback with one teammate member down. But that is a wipeout on both sides right there! Oh my gosh, what is happening, Rose?
Oh, the sneaky, cheeky bomb on the grate. I love it. Absolutely picking off that jump coming in. It is going to be hard to win these fights when you're down a player due to a DC. I absolutely love that they're still keeping the aggression up. Unfortunately, Catboy is going to get taken out. Wendigo, just with this mini Splatling, is so mobile and fast, and it's just going to be easier to get wipeouts onto Reignfall since they're down a player. But Zuka for Zuka counter, we love to see it. They can still keep this going, and they're managing to not quite hold a neutral state, but they're doing their best to at least keep land crabs from progressing too far.
Yeah, shutting down that Tri-Slosher is the name of the game right here, especially as we once again go through grades. But it seems like land crabs are just favoring just holding on to the Rainmaker right here. I mean, hey, they got all the time in the world. 1:15 is nothing. They do seem to be heading back up right here as 2 members of Reignfall do go down. They're already pushing it. Lettuce coming in right here, almost at the point that they died last. The suction bomb deters a little bit, and it brings them into oncoming fire. And the Rainmaker does go down right here, but it's just Catboy on the side of Reignfall right now, trying to hold them off. Wendigo, incoming strikes right here. This might be the opening that they need. They do force Catboy back and do get the kill. That's another kill. Rainmaker is grabbed, but that is a wipeout on the side of Reignfall. All Land Crabs need to do now is just break that barrier and jump on the podium for the victory that they have gotten, and they have it.
Yes. Excellent work. You've got that number advantage. You just got that wipeout. You've got a little bit of time. You can make sure that you have that entire area by the goal claimed when you get that pop and go, okay, there aren't any bombs here, we can just run it up now.
Very much so. Unfortunate DC for the side of Reignfall right there, but they did put up, like, honestly, a very wonderful fight despite the fact that they were a man down. I mean, hey, I've seen teams... I mean, it would have been a miracle to have to beat, like, the offensive pressure that Landcrabs were putting out on that map, because it's really hard to fight a Tri-Slosh on anything that has grades, especially on Crab, like that little stint after first checkpoint.
Yeah, Yang was taking some really fun positions on that Tri-Slosher. I've heard from my own Tri-Slosher teammate that she does not enjoy fighting on Crab Leg. It can be hard because it's such a large open map and you don't have nearly as much range. But if you get your positioning and your timing done right, and the other team doesn't realize you're below them or above them, you just be like, hi, I'm here to take you out. And that's what we just saw Yang do over and over again. But as you said, Reignfall, they put up a heck of a fight. And even though they've lost this set, we're still playing all three. They at least want to make sure that they get one game on the board. That can help a lot with tiebreakers. So it's still, you know, you want to go in that third game knowing, okay, we lost the set, but we don't let up on the gas. And just, you know, hope that whatever internet issues happen with DCs, try to make sure that they don't happen again. Sometimes it's out of your hands. I've been there.
Yeah, no, same, many a time. I've had a very funny moment during last year with my team where my teammate Ashlyn disconnected from the game, and it, to us, from the perspective of everybody else, her and a member of the enemy team just went flying, actually flying. Their Inklings just ascended into the heavens, and there they went. And then suddenly there were like 5 other, and then suddenly the entire enemy team was there, and a ball literally flew in from the enemy base. It was insane. Like some of the worst lag I've seen in this game. But lag may not matter, hopefully. But if there is a map that Reignfall may not have wanted, it might be Clan Blitz Scorch, because this is a map that you can get oppressive on.
Scorch is so oppressive, like you said. You want to hold forward, and it's large enough that it can definitely take some real time to break into mid. But it's also such a blitzkrieg at times. So it's not looking great for Reignfall just with how things are going. I'm really hoping that they shake this off and they keep it going, because we have absolutely seen moments where that aggression has paid off for them. We just want that to translate into points for objective.
I can definitely see that. I definitely think their Dreadringer will see a lot more utility here, because this is one of the best Dread maps in the game. I despise fighting that weapon on this map so much. And that Reef Slider, especially like either getting up ramp or once you're over top ramp, is absolutely like horrific for any team attempting to defend their clan basket. But we'll see if Crableg is prepared for that, or if this is the map that Reignfall will take to hopefully keep them alive right now. Seeing not much change on either side, actually. It's the exact same comp as last game. Both teams feeling very comfortable, both wanting those Zukas, both wanting those coolers, those strikes. We'll see how we go right here, or excuse me. And again, Inoki sticking with the Dreadringer right here, and we're just gonna see how this game goes as both teams are fighting for mid right now.
Yeah, Inoki was able to get that first pick onto the T-Tech over on Land Crabs. That's going to be really nice movement. And you saw that slider already came out doing some real work. Has that power plant ready to go in Demon's hands. They are going to go down and lose that. Wendigo is set up in a really nice position and knows that they can just start moving forward. And you know how I was saying earlier about how just with this map is big enough that it can be really obnoxious to break into mid? Not if you have beacons up.
Yep, that Remy will be very wonderful for that, especially if Reignfall isn't exactly looking for them, because I didn't see much beacon play last game. Right now, both teams are vying for mid, and 2 down are on the side of Landcrafts. They after their last push was shut down by Yang, quickly sneaking around and hitting 2 members. They were ready this time, and already a Super Flame is building. Out comes the Reef Slider, forcing the entirety of Landcrafts to the left side of the map. 1 down on each side. They don't have much eco right now, but if they can just keep this basket open, they force the Landcrafts down to a 2v3 situation and force 1 member to jump up. Demon right here just playing clam carrier, just throwing clams up to their remaining teammates. They've gotten it down to 56 points. This is a wonderful opening push. They need to watch out for that Tri-Slasher on the slide right now. Demon going for the kill that they see on the blaster. Gets the double, gets the triple right here on Yang. Stops again, they're down to 29 points. Oh my gosh, 26. They're still going in. Azuka ready to get another. That is a beautiful quad on the side of Demon right now, going for the 5. Are they going to be too cautious? Yes, they are, but it buys Reignfall enough time to get it down to 8, 5, 2. The game is over.
100-0 in 1 push. That is how you blitzkrieg over into your own favor. Reignfall absolutely sweeping Scorch here. They took that moment and they had what every coach wants to see Clam Blitz played, is a sustained push. They kept that going and used their resources so well.
Absolutely wonderful. They were able to make the adaptation of like fighting Landcrafts over these last 2 games to know how they can meet and then beat Landcraft's offensive might and control for mid. And then they just adapted Landcraft's own strategy of just not letting off the brake pedal to the point where I couldn't stop talking, folks, because they didn't let off the gas.
Said, this automobile does not have brakes.
None whatsoever. The brakes were cut. The crabs pinched the wrong cord in Reignfall's vehicle, and unfortunately for them, they got run over by the tires. But still, Landcrabs will take the victory in this set, but Reignfall did not go down without a fight, and they very much redeemed themselves with that amazing showcase. Wonderful work by Reignfall and Landcrabs right there, especially Demon Daz for helping keep that push alive.
That was wild. That really great balance of fighting and also throwing in clams occasionally to extend that timer and keep things going and keep scoring points. Because another really key point of a sustained push in Clam Blitz is managing that timer on that clam basket. And if you can space that out, even if you don't, just 100-0, at least you can eat up a ton of time. And they just kept that going to their advantage, where Landcrafts at that point is trickling in, panicking.
Absolutely wonderful performance by these 2 teams. Let's hope that they make it even further right now. Looking out at the rest of Group A, we're seeing everyone potentially wrapping up their games right now. And hey, we're seeing not many 2-0s or 3-0s even. Some teams still in the midst of their games right now. Right now, I'm only seeing Nameless here and SSS as 3-0ing the competition.
Yeah, we still have, and after this, there will be 2 more sets to finish day 1. That set win, Landcrabs is looking pretty good. So far, it looks like they if they keep this up, they could maybe make alpha bracket. It's going to depend on how other teams do, how they do. Reignfall is now sitting at 2-2 for wins and losses so far. If they want to make their way back up into possibly what could be a higher bracket moving into day 2, they'll definitely want to clinch the next 2 sets if they can. But so far 2-2, just, we saw, and I hope from that last game, I hope they take that and they're just like cheering going into the next set, saying like, let's just do that again.
Let's keep it going, Mesami. That was an absolutely wonderful game. We're once again seeing a few more teams right here. It does see in Group B, we do have a couple more 3-0s right now. I love Splatoon this so much because of these team names. Like Cranking 28's Bedtime, 3 Saturn's Rings, the heavenly body in the sky just coming in to absolutely 3-0 the competition. Hey, I'm seeing some wonderful teams right here that, though I may not be as familiar with as some others, either here in the lovely VC with me or in our lovely Twitch chat, I am looking forward to seeing them play.
ADHD Shipwreck, which I think is a pickup just from me checking them on Sendo. I think 3 of the members on ADHD Shipwreck are on a team together, and they have a different 4th, so they're possibly playing under a different name. But ADHD Shipwreck, just when I first saw that, when I was checking over who signed up for Low Ink this month, and I saw that name, and I giggled to myself because I just thought, oh, that's a normal Tuesday for me.
Oh, same here. That's the story of my life. Gosh, that's great. Absolutely wonderful. We are still waiting for the next rounds to get ready. Obviously, with those games, they were, especially the last game, pretty quick for our Splatanders. Wow, the standards we have here in Splatoon. So I think we are gonna go to a quick little break, but stick around, folks. We got plenty more day one for you guys to see. Welcome back, everybody, to Low Ink November. I almost did it, Rose, I swear. I am once again Jolteon Jack, joined by the lovely Rose of Battle, and we are back with round 2 for our little set here, where we will be seeing Vivid Wave versus, and forgive my German, Gebrochen, we and Rochen. That is absolutely not the correct pronunciation. Please do not kill me if you are in the stream, members of this team. I'm sure you're lovely.
Yes, Vivid Wave and Gebrochen are going to be fighting it out here, both tied here for the number of sets they have won, both doing a pretty great low ink run so far. Both teams have lost 1 set so far, heading into our 5th set. This is the second to last set for our day 1 of November low ink. Both teams going to want to clutch this out, and they will be starting on Hagglefish Zones.
Yes, my beloved Hagglefish. I love this map so much. It doesn't have a bad map mode at all. You could argue Clan Blitz, and that's the only one I'd ever give you. But yeah, looking at what teams could potentially be playing right here, I'm on the side of Vivid Wave. I'm just seeing a lot of like very all-around play from each of the members, ranging from very like midline to very aggressive. Not a lot of backline. There's one player who seems to know a thing or two around a charger, but aside from that, it seems to be very all aggression all the time, which, hey, I will never complain about, especially when I'm not the one against it.
Yes, I know. I'm familiar with Burb over on Gebrochen being Rochen, who does play mainly swords from what I've seen, and also what I also have listed on Sendo. So I always love seeing some really good Splatana Stamper action. Any of the kits, super fun to watch. Love a good zip caster. Sleepy might be pulling out a charger here, most likely, and might not even be a pencil. Got a lot of different options here, and I think a charger. I don't think anybody's mad about having a charger on Hagglefish, especially.
No, and especially not on Hagglefish, but if you see a charger that's not a pencil, it's a surprise to be sure. Unless we see a leader, in that case, yeah, that makes sense. Because I see a lot more leaders on this map nowadays. It is a very oppressive if you have a good leader that is able to watch, obviously, just all the way down mid, but also just those 2 flank routes over to the side, because that tent provides a wonderful sight line. But if we see both very aggressive comps from both Vivid Wave and Gebrochen, I mean, this map could be over in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, though it's possible. I'm thinking that Vivid Wave might have some tools for displacing something like an E-Leader on Hagglefish. It's going to depend on who has the better teamwork, better timing, and knowing when to push an objective, when to maintain a neutral.
Okay, a double. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm not hallucinating, folks. That is a sloshing machine, a blobber nouveau or deco. I can't remember what it's actually called. A V brush and a paintbrush. I also don't know the sub name for that, but it's one of the alternate kits with the Splash Wall and Zuka. Already one down on either side right here. Vivid Wave, what is this comp you have concocted right here? Already they have control of zone and are going to take a quick early lead as one member down on either side. There is a cooler on the side of Gebrochen right now as they push the pencil. Vivid, be happy, just moving up with Shell right here. This Kraken is on the hunt, but does fall back right here to try not to get too aggressive. What am I seeing right now, Rose?
Seeing some extreme off-meta comps, and so far it's been working pretty well for them, but Gebrochen is going to take cap of that zone right now. Burb here on that Stamper, like I was saying before, gonna be doing their best. Obviously not the best painter, but they've been doing a good job of keeping things painted for a little bit while longer. But now they're gonna start getting pushed. However, that's just gonna sometimes, that's exactly what you want. If you've got the rest of your team ready to go and somebody's fighting you, you'd be like, nope. And of course, just a quick slasheroni over on that Kraken is gonna get taken out here. That is the downfall of the Kraken. You do have to wait through a little bit of that time to transform into the Kraken. And that means lead is gonna switch over into Gebrochen's favor.
Yeah, that Kraken cancel was very, very unfortunate. It does stop Vivid Wave's push right here. Kraken, Killer Whale combo trying to get off. They do neutralize zone, but are not able to take. Shell unable to properly get that jump in with how little time the Kraken came out and were shut down. Jelly able to get another kill off to the side right now. Fighting for control of mid. The Gebrochen do have the people advantage, and they do once again swap zone. Immediate little blob off to the side for Shell here. Does get a pick and once again neutralizes the zone, looking to flip to Vivid Wave. The pressure I'm seeing from Happy and the Paintbrush right now is wonderful, but that pencil is quick to shut them down.
Yes, a really good pencil. You know, everybody talks about how pencil really important for splat zones because of the paint, but really I think pencil, especially since the adjustments from many months ago, can be a really nice fighter fighting with teams if they're actually very good at nailing those shots, and that's what we've been seeing so far. However, things are still going back and forth. Vivid Wave is threatening the lead swap. They got it. They're still maintaining this area, and that means Gebrochen's gonna have to have a lot of teamwork and able to be able to get in. They do have Zuka online ready to go. They did lose one. We have a Zuka battle happening, able to take out the enemy Zuka, but they need to get their butts over on that zone and paint it ASAP. We gotta run over there. Booyah's gonna come out and is gonna help cap it. Fortunately, that was looking really dicey for Gebrochen for a while, but everything's totally switched now.
Yeah, that delayed wipeout on the side of Gebrochen. They were able to play patiently and know the timing that Booyah Bomb would need. They got it out at the perfect moment when Vivid Wave were down 2 members and they were able to flip zone and secure the delayed wipeout right here. Right now, we're just seeing teams fighting underneath pedestal right here. John, unfortunately, thinks that he's safe from the final bits of that Killer Whale. Gets like sectioned in half. Right here, Shell able to help secure zone, but they got a large penalty to work down, and that's 2 down right here. Make it, no, Happy was able to get it, but gets popped by the pencil right there. And once again, the zone stays in control of Gebrochen, but Fly right here, able to get a second kill. The Zuka comes out, ready to try to pop the third. Almost, barely misses right there, and unfortunately gets taken down as once again Vivid Wave takes control of the zone.
I could have sworn that Zuka shot was gonna end up in a splat, but nope, it was just a partial there, not able to finish it. Right now, if you're Vivid Wave, you want to just play safe, you want to play aggressive, but you don't have to expend resources unnecessarily. It's on Gebrochen to go in, get those really important picks. We have less than a minute to go. Vivid Wave is going through the penalty points. Those do count down fairly quickly, faster than per second. Astrids, I can't even believe it. This blobber, I swear, you have to be like a mathematician to get his angles right, just like there, and they're about to cap this. The Booyah's coming out, but it's not gonna paint enough. That trigonometry from that Blobber, getting those really important picks and pressure in when it was needed to make sure Gebrochen could not come in and paint that zone.
I believe that was actually the sloshing machine right there as the Kraken for the Deco kit or whatever it's called went in the side right there. But you are correct of just the angles. The Zuka shot from downtown and the lovely little fist bump right there. No, that shows how in sync this team was playing. As clearly Gebrochen was not ready for such an off-meta comp. And like, hey, though that combination may seem very dumb on paper, but it clearly just worked in Vivid Wave's favor right now as they have taken the first game. And like you said, just the geometry that that sloshing machine was able to do, even with that Zuka shot from downtown when they flipped the zone originally. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can make some things on paper that look really strange work if you have the teamwork down. If you have your game sense down. People know where you're picking fights, when to go in, when to join a fight, when to leave a fight. And I think we saw Vivid Wave do that pretty well.
Very much, very, very much. I wonder how the comp will change as we head into ship-shape tower control right here. I'm not saying that comp can't work on this map. It very much can. It's just... It made sense for Zone because they had a lot of paint. Like, I could rationalize that. However, I do not know what they could pull out of their bag of tricks right now that would work on ship-shape, but I'm excited to see it.
I can see the paintbrush. I think that paintbrush was getting a decent amount of use. If you can manage your space on a paintbrush, I hate fighting good paintbrushes. So I'm like, especially as a frontliner, I'm like, dang it, I can't get near you. Leave me alone. And then also having a Zuka, being able to attack from even farther away. But you're right. It's going to be interesting to see if they end up switching here. Okay, all right, we're going with it. I can't wait to see how this ends up working out.
So somehow we have gotten even shorter range right now as Shell trades off the Blobber for the Tri-Slosh right now. A sharking Tri-Slosh for that matter with that Ninja Squid right now. Both teams are just going to fight for mid right now. Happy maybe getting a bit more pressure than they would like. 2 down already on the side of Vivid Wave. Happy trying to make it even right now. It's 3. Now it's just a one-on-one, but Astrid is able to just get on tower and just try to play do-si-do with his pencil as the rest of the team jumps in, and they make it to the first checkpoint right here almost completely unbothered.
They do, and that's not necessarily a lot of points, but what was important was that they were able to get their teammates in really quickly. However, they're all going to go down in a wipeout here. Now Gebrochen being Rochen gets to do the same thing so long as they're able to hold forward, especially on this left forward space here along these grades. You've seen Natello do a really good job holding this down, dancing around those specials, coming their way one after another as you're seeing. And they could get a pick right here. They're in a pretty good spot to do so. 2 down on Vivid Wave, which means Gebrochen is still pushing forward. They're already pushing 30 points remaining.
They are. Finally, that Booyah Bomb from right here gets used. They are once again just trying to get anybody away from the checkpoint, but unfortunately the rest of their team does go down right here, and it's just the Pencil who is forced to retreat. Astrid now coming in, trying to secure right side with the help of Happy. They do manage to force the final member of Gebrochen out of there, but they need to retake control of mid right now. There's a lot of pain on the ground. They are very good at retaking control of mid right here, as right now they're just playing for picks as the tower slowly makes its way up. They got a lot of ground to cover, and unlike Gebrochen and Rochen, who was just able to sit on great right here with the S-Blast, this Zuka will be able to do a similar thing, but once that's out, they do not have the manpower in order to keep that side held, especially when Jelly right here is able to pick off Happy and goes for the double on the tower and manages to get it, though Vivid is able to make it through the checkpoint.
Yeah, but making it through that checkpoint, especially when you're getting in some stragglers jumping in, when it is a risky jump to be taking at this point. They did clear that first checkpoint, which is going to be good for future pushes that they definitely want to keep going. But man, like definitely losing steam here. Gebrochens managing their specials well, especially in this game. I think compared to the previous game, they're managing to dodge Shell's Inkjet so far. Jelly managing to stay alive. This is just going back and forth at this point, but if you're Gebrochen, you could do that really well. Now, this is what we want to see from Vivid Wave. We saw this in the previous game. Now they're starting to take these fights together. With their comp, it's definitely, without that blob lobber, they have a lot less paint to work with. So going at a paint negative, they really want to be getting these picks in.
Yeah, right now, but unfortunately, 2 members down on either side right now. Shell trying to force Jelly away from taking this mid-angle, which is a very good way for Gebrochen to get back out into mid. Unfortunately, the rest of their offensive might is gone, and they do have to jump back to right side over here where Happy is waiting, just trying to see where the rest of the team is and chase after, but unfortunately gets splatted right there. That's 3 down on the side of Vivid Wave. Jelly sees this as an opportune time to take tower, and they would be correct right now. However, we have a sharking bucket just waiting there. Unfortunately misses and gets splatted right there. No, it was the wrong bucket. It was the machine. That's not the slot. That's not the very quick sharker that I was expecting. It was a very slow shark, and it got chomped back by Jelly.
Jelly does chomp back. Jelly's been doing a very good job this game of getting a lot of paint on the ground for their team to make sure that the other members of their team, especially Burb on that Stamper, and also that S-Blast, have the space to move around. There are definitely these 2 weapons that want some mobility afforded through paint. So they also can really force a lot of sharks and whatnot. They've been doing this well. They are pushing towards this final checkpoint. Once that final checkpoint gets cleared, it's almost a GG. But Vivid Wave coming in now, Happy, doing brushy things, pushing in forward. They're able to force out Gebrochen. They have less than 30 seconds to push it forward. They're starting to get paint down, and it's anybody's game here. If they can get these picks, they can secure the space, get the specials up, make sure Gebrochen can't push them too hard. They could force an overtime.
Both specials on the side of Vivid Wave being used right here as we get to the final 10 seconds. Unfortunately, that jet gets picked off by the pin. Sleepy trying to wait out the Zuka, but unfortunately, Happy runs right in like a mad lion and is able to pick him off, but gets immediately counter Zuka right here. It's 2 down on either side as they get the main tower carrier with a beautiful place shot by Jelly. And with that wipeout, Gebrochen will tie up the score, making it 1-1. We are going to game 3 in our second set here, folks.
Oh, that was a neck and neck game, especially towards the end. I loved what I saw. Vivid Wave going in, pushing forward, using resources. But man, that Zuka onto the tower and a bomb, and that's gonna spell GG's for that.
Wonderful, wonderful few kills by Jelly at the end there. Jelly bites back. As I said, they're tired of being in the sandwich. They're gonna put you in it instead. Yeah, and they're gonna have it as we head over to Humpback, Hump Track, Rainmaker. I love this map mode so much, and that's an opinion that I will gladly have alone if need be, but I like it, and we're gonna get to see it today.
Don't worry, I'm here with you. The 2 of us will be here together. And if anybody starts booing in chat, just be like, why are you booing? I'm right.
We get to hit a sick kick flip here. You guys are just not having fun, all right? We are gonna have a fun time, especially since we get to watch. It's gonna be great. Considering how little of a comp change we saw on the side of Vivid Wave last set, I don't know what they're gonna do this time, because honestly, the Blob could be wonderful right here, or either Kit, because Rain is very oppressive on this map with how tight it can be once you get past the first checkpoint, and Kraken is also very, very useful in Rainmaker, especially on this map. On the side of Gebrochen, I mean, they stuck with a very similar comp that's like very all around and can definitely work here. That blaster will be wonderful at poking around the very oddly shaped corners of Humpback, and that'll definitely allow them to get some picks. So honestly, I think it could be either one's game right now.
It could. I think Humpback definitely affords some space for strange comps. And I not to say that Vivid Wave's totally gonna win it. I think you can go either way. Over on the side of Gebrochen, though, I'm just like, Okay. Jelly, I know you've been going wild on the V-Shot with the Zuka, but I know you play the Dapples. And I think it would be so fun to see. I know Zuka goes nuts on this map too, but for me, it would be pretty cool.
Just for a little Rose of Battle, let's see if
No!
right here. No, we don't. But we see a shot. A shot or a shooter. I didn't think it was possible from Vivid Wave right here. The exact same combo on the side of Gebrochen. They do get early pop right here, as right now both sides are playing for picks. Early pick for Vivid Wave. They're moving in right now, able to get the pencil. That is very huge right now. Shell unfortunately leaves. Jelly able to shoot him quickly in the back and then jump out. But with these strikes on the Rainmaker, they will quickly be able to pop it and try to get checkpoint right here. It does seem like they're waiting for a second and unfortunately go down. Astrid trying to Zuka them out, but gets counter Zuka right there and goes down. 3 down for Vivid Wave. They did a wonderful job of halting Vivid Wave's offensive might right there. That could have been a very early checkpoint.
It could have, but Flynn, like we really were. I don't think taking the best eye on that Rainmaker, making sure that it didn't get cheekily grabbed. It did not get dunked there, but now they're still forcing it forward. They're managing to pop that. They get their quick dunk in now. Clearing that first checkpoint is the name of the game here, but they've still got space in front, so they're moving. Astrid swimming through, dodging Zukas. There's one Zuka left, able to get that pick on Astrid. That is going to end things here for now, while Gebrochen starts trying to get forward in, but it looks like Vivid Wave is still doing a good job on this paintbrush, holding things down. They get more points. Can you believe it, Jack? Down to 9.
And when in doubt, send that Rainmaker, especially on that map. They got it all the way down to 9 points. Fly, trying to get that push moving again, like it never stopped. And I guess it still hasn't, because they keep throwing their bodies in it. They made it to the checkpoint and they win the game! Ah!
Silly comp!
Silly comp for the win right there, as Vivid Wave takes a decisive 2-1 against Gebrochen. We in Rochen. That was lovely to see right there. I wonder if we'll see a fist bump, a very well-earned fist bump for the weirdest comp I have ever seen in Low Ink, but I am not mad at all, for that was some wonderful, wonderful games. A shell of a time, if you will, ladies, gentlemen, and squids of all genders.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think really when Gebrochen first stopped that Rainmaker from being dunked, which was pivotal for the moment, but unfortunately they should have then started moving it away from that area. They sort of left it, and I believe they still had one player there just keeping an eye on it, but it's still, then that player from Vivid Wave was able to stall it right there, pick it up, and the rest of Vivid Wave is then moving in, taking space. It was just, Vivid Wave did not let up on the gas.
Not at all. And you know, the two wonderful tactics that, you know, shouldn't work but do more than you would expect of forget everything else, just send it and then keep throwing your bodies onto this super jump point until we somehow win the scramble.
It works.
It works.
It works.
It works more than you think.
You know,
it works in tower control. It works in
classic.
Rainmaker. It works in
Classic comeback
Rainmaker. Yeah, classic. Been there since Splatoon 2, baby. That was a wonderful, wonderful set. And shout out to both teams because they did absolutely wonderful. Looking at Group A, round 5 right here, it does seem like most teams are still fighting it out. Actually, most teams actually do seem to be finished. It just a couple stragglers left. This is fine. One of my favorites, taking it 3-0 in their game. But aside from that, it looks like the only other one who has done it so far is Sea Lanterns in their game against this Sigma Squids. Again, great names, everybody.
I feel like I have on one side you being like, oh, great names. And then I can see on the other side Pop Gun just shaking his head, sighing in exasperation.
Yeah, definitely. That's how I feel sometimes. Looking at Group B right here, we are still waiting on a couple more people, but it again seems like most teams were back and forth, but we had quite a few 3-0s in this as well. Hydra taking it 3-0, Mente Colmina, I apologize if I butchered that pronunciation, and Breaking Dawn all taking 3-0, as well as I can't read all of that name, but Little Timmy. Good on them for making it all the way down to low ink with their little baseball cap and taking it 3-0 along with No Fate.
Yeah, so far, will come with a name later. Absolutely leading Group B, having not dropped a set yet. Only dropped 3 games, actually. A win-loss of 12 wins, 3 losses so far out of 5 sets. They're absolutely leading Group B at this point. Nobody else has gone 5-0 in sets just yet. And they won't, because the rest are moving from 4-1. We've got Reef Runners, X-Name, Rising Beyond the Tides. Definitely those 3 names are teams that I've seen play in low ink several times before, and they are threatening an alpha run for tomorrow.
Absolutely, you want to make it into alpha bracket right here, and with the insanity that we've seen, I'm wondering what alpha bracket will be looking like tomorrow, because I certainly can't wait to see it. And you people, even after finishing our little set here today with me and Rose, or if you've been here since Frost and Kanu were on the air, you should definitely come back tomorrow to see how the rest of this tournament plays out. We do have our next match, however, picked and chosen, and it is RIT Orange Ocean versus Karmesi Kolony, or I definitely could not say that last name. Rose, you give it a try.
And this is not the first time I've commentated them, and I don't think I've ever gotten it right. But I'm standing by until somebody corrects me that it is Karmesi Kolony. I want to say OAR, but a part of me is like, or.
Yeah, 2 teams that I, however, am not that familiar, though I do recognize a couple names on the teams. We are seemingly from over on RIT, Never Lucky, a heavy bucket player, as well as a few other new interesting picks. Kirby House plays a variety of different weapons. I see a very offensive push right there from neutral. I guess his weapons that I saw right there are very good at playing in neutral, I suppose. Splatling, a support player from Splatent, and Victory seems to be a person that is all about the Marvelous Brush.
This brush is so fun to watch. And both these teams actually are collegiate teams. Certainly RIT, being a school. Both of these are collegiate teams. Karmesi Colonies was originally founded several years ago, 2020. And I believe the OAR team was founded at some point in Splatoon 3's life cycle, maybe within the last year and a half or so.
Always good to see new teams, and seeing collegiate teams this deep into low ink is quite a feat. I mean, hey, I hope I get good enough to be on the stage one day. That'd be amazing.
Yes, man, it's really fun. And I've played against Never Lucky before over on RIT Orange Ocean and Kibri House. They certainly, I feel like just Splatoon 3 lends itself to a lot of aggression, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something like hyperdive of running forward super aggressive, but just of a aggressive control of space, of just making it so difficult for the other team to set up and get comfortable, to be able to play off of AoE, to play off of something like a well string threatening space. I love chip comps. They're so fun.
I disagree. I despise chip comps, but that's just because I play Dynamo Roller, and those are the bane of my existence. Because I can deal with Hyper Rush. I can deal with that. That's a simple matter of just, being better at winning the 1v1, okay? Or the 2v1, or the 2v2, whatever it is in that moment. No, if I am fighting against a chip team, I am absolutely miserable because I can't run away from them.
You're just crying.
So hopefully the Colony will be able to have something that could potentially counter that chip comp. And a chip comp on Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime doesn't sound fun at all, Rose. So it will be fun for you viewers in the chat. But for the enemy, the team that are up against, I very much doubt it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Clam Blitz, Barnacle is an aggressive, fast map, or at least it can be. Want to make sure you're running forward holding those areas. And I don't, in some ways it reminds me of Scorch clams in the way that you want to make sure you're not overextending your push when it is super dead. But if you can keep that going and hold forward while managing your clams, getting picks, holding the space down, playing to extend the timer for how long that basket is open, you can keep a push going for a very long time and just completely knock it out there.
That's very true. I will say I feel like it's a bit harder to keep that offensive pressure on this map compared to Scorch. I don't know. I just feel like it's a bit easier to funnel clams on Scorch Gorge with like where exactly the clams spawn. I could be completely wrong. That's just my experience. This map is very similar in that regard. I do feel like I've had the most games go to overtime on this map mode specifically, and I wonder if we'll see that today, if the ocean of orange will overtake the colony right now, or if they will need that ore to pull, like to paddle themselves away. I mean, looking at it right here, a sort of chip comp on the side, but seemingly a very heavy rushdown comp, matched by a very seemingly chip / rushdown comp on the side of Orange Ocean, who unfortunately isn't orange this game. I feel like we were lied to in that.
Purple Ocean this time around, moving in. Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing comp-wise from both of these. I think it's fun. We've got a little bit of an overlap here, which is always fun to see how this goes. That that toothbrush is going to be able to take out one real fast. Karmesi Kolony able to start pushing in here. That Reef Slider is unfortunately not going to get any picks on its own. It's got a lot of that splash damage, but nobody else there to help follow up on it. But here comes another Reef Slider, able to perfectly trap that person, go in. That means Karmesi Kolony is going to start getting their first points on the board here. Able to grab a couple more clams that were over on the side by the basket. This Dread holding this space, setting up, but that brush is going to come down, be aggressive like they want to do. However, that's a lot of points scored really quickly.
The push isn't over yet, but now it is as that bubble breaks and the rest of Karmesi Kolony is forced back. That bubble, never lucky, not settling Bees' retreat as acceptable, goes all the way in. Built 7 clans right here, not enough for a super, looks to get the 8th, but is stopped by the rest of Karmesi Kolony. That throw from the teammate, unfortunately, also misses, and they go down to a combination of specials right there. They get bumper brushed into the line of fire. Victory able to secure the super clam right now, but they do not have a lot of eco, and they are down the manpower to continue this push right now. They have lost the space and they need to retreat quickly. Like you said, you need to know when to give up on this map. They got the super clam in, they got on the board. That's all they can do right now. They need to maintain control of mid and maintain control of eco, and they already managed to maintain control of the bodies on the board with a quick little wipeout right there. They need, however, their teammate with 6 clams to make it so they can get a super.
Yes, they're getting points now. Close to overtaking this lead. Gonna grab another clam, not able to get it in, and there's only one person remaining. Never lucky. False. Very lucky. Getting double right there, but that basket is going to close for now, but still managing to get down to 49 right now. And I think so long as they can hold this space here, if they get their clams back up, I think they're holding 17 right now. They can just keep this going in a part 2 of this push.
They haven't retreated yet. They are still holding this space. That crab is trying its best to deter them right there, and it does force Never Lucky to sort of readjust. They do lose one member to the offensive pressure, the defensive might of Calamaricani. That Reef Slider was beautiful right there, able to cut off one member of the team, force the other onto the right side. This decap looking for the double swing. They do manage to get a beautiful play by Asher right there. This has allowed Karmesi Kolony to make it back in, and they once again break Orange Ocean's barrier right now. They are trying to work down their penalty. They have made it, getting all the way down to 37, 31 right here, 28, 25, 22. Beautiful clams work by Asher. Somehow gets that one hit. Decap hitbox is very dumb, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wipeout right there. Wonderful, wonderful work from Asher.
No other clams to keep that basket open. They did grab that clam they had below their own basket for now, I believe. They do want to make sure to get that in. They've still got momentum. They're keeping this up right now. I can tell Asher's like, get in here, score this, keep this going. We've got 2 power clams. Get them in. We want to close this out. They're going to need more than just this power clam to end the game, though. It is going to go down to 7. They need 3 more clams to clinch it out. I don't know that they're going to be able to do that just yet. What they want to do is just make sure we're not all going down here, but RIT is managing to start breaking through back now. They're going to want to play for really, really large points. We want to make sure we've got some sustained pushes. That way we don't have to be eating through penalty points. And I think they might be cooking something here right now. Neutral being able to force their way in with the rest of the team, make sure a teammate gets that power clam and can score a couple more, but half of the team is down. They're able to save this power clam. I don't know if they can get it in.
They get shot down right there, but still there's 2 members of the Orange Ocean left. They managed to get the power clam in, but there is no other clams on the map, and Karmesi Kolony is able to end the push with a little wipeout of their own. However, with 30 seconds left on the left in the game, there is a pity clam left on both sides right here. So this is still very doable for either team. It just depends on who is able to secure neutral right here. There's 2 down, 3 down on the side of Karmesi Kolony. Lucky right here, looking for the amount of clams that will give them a super. They do manage to form it, but unfortunately goes down to a Dreadringer right there. They do break the barrier on Orange Ocean, and with this bubble, they will be able to secure the win. Wonderful use of teamwork by Asher, going ahead, securing the bubble and getting the pop right there. Wonderful, wonderful work.
Oh, you saw both those teams there. We're like, we need to score. We need to score right now. We need to score. But the team that got it in first, able to keep pushing that in, and oh my gosh, I love. Oh, and the synchronized emotes. We love to see it.
Unfortunately, Never Lucky had expended all of that luck that they somehow accrued in those original shifts as they go down to the Dread, but Asher is able to get that bubble up. That was as close as it can possibly get right there, Rose.
Never Lucky. I'm sorry that I said your name was false. Maybe it's true.
Maybe you just gave him bad karma, Rose. I don't know. Maybe you should be careful about that.
Cursed.
Don't
I'm
jinx
sorry.
them.
Commentators curse.
Very much so in this case. Hopefully they can find a cure for it in Mako Mart here, because Splat Zone's Mako Mart is I mean, both of these comps are very good on Mako, I feel. They got a lot of painting potential with those buckets that are also able to paint over the barriers and onto the top platforms on either side of the map, as well as just rain fire down on anyone trying to approach. I will say, I saw some absolutely nutty like aiming when somebody on Orange Ocean like completely shut down Asher's like attempted push near the end there. Like, it was absolutely insane. I saw Asher's Inkling like break dance on the floor almost from like how quickly that decap like turned them around to try to readjust, but it wasn't enough.
Both the weapon comps for both these teams will be very, very fun to watch here. Dreadringer, a good Splat Zones pick. A good pick for fighting with all of these vertical areas with stacks of boxes. You got a Reef Slider. Of course, Rhea's got that in the bag. We've also got Neutral playing that same Dread. We will have a Reef Slider on both sides here. And it looks like both of them are running similar builds. They're going to have some special power up for a bigger explosion here. The key will be, can we use these Reef Sliders for more than just capping the zone? Can we use them to get some really nice picks and to work together with these chip comps? Because it works so well in chip comps.
I mean, so far they don't really seem to be needing the Reef Slider in order to get a quick little 3-piece right there and then pressure the entirety of the respawning Orange Ocean into the right little corner right there. Something that didn't maybe see as much utilization as it could have in the last game, but definitely we were just seeing it right there, is the Crab, which did a great job of trying to pressure Orange Ocean into the thing. They do manage to neutralize zone right here and do flip it as 2 members of Karmesi Kolony go down, make it 3 right there. This is the time that they need to keep this thing up. Splatin's right here just trying to build for a hammer, which hopefully will be tossed at a unsuspecting victim.
Go down there. We do have a Crab online from Karmesi Kolony. Victory's going to start jumping in. RET Orange Ocean has a lot of momentum at this point. They've got everybody up on the team. They're really keeping control of these areas where Karmesi Kolony wants to drop into, which means they've been able to eat up a ton of time by maintaining this space. They're going to have the lead now. If they can keep this going all the way, then they could threaten it, but that is going to flip, even I think without the tri-strikes that was able to flip now. Karmesi Kolony is fighting off with those stacks really, really well. That is some bucket gameplay. Absolutely made for Mako Mart.
Very, very, very much. They got it in the playground aisle, or excuse me, the backyard aisle of like, yes, 2 for $5, sign me up. And with it, they were able to secure a quick little two-piece right there. 2 members of Karmesi Kolony are down right here, and with a stamp Reef Slider combo that should immediately flip zone, it does, allowing Orange Ocean to keep that lead that they have. We got another stamp ready from Splatoon right here, just waiting for some poor unfortunate soul to come up this side. They throw it at the crab right there to try to deter it. Doesn't get the splat, but is able to force the crab into an unfavorable position. The strikes right there coming out are going to force the members of Orange Ocean to scatter. And right there, it does get 2 kills right now. Rayya sees the Rayya, excuse me, however you say that name, sees the pick on Splatoon and is able to secure it right now. They're working down those penalty points, trying to get lead. They're still halfway through this game, and it still could go either way.
Yeah, getting that recap of zone for RIT Orange Ocean, very, very important for them. Karmesi Kolony was threatening to finish going through their penalty points and get a nice lead. Victory stamp! Not able to take out Asher, but is able to take out one and get a little bit of paint down. But they're almost through penalty points again. Karmesi Kolony not gonna hold on to that zone though, and I think that's gonna keep happening here, especially if both teams, especially if RIT Orange Ocean also has a Reef Slider on line whenever they're ready to recap zone and they can move in together off of it. They could very easily just shut down Karmesi Kolony from ever getting through penalty points. But I don't know, it's going back and forth, Jack.
Yep, zone once again flips right there. Beautiful Reef Slider on the side of RT Orange Ocean. Flips it again, but with a bucket and a Reef Slider of their own. Karmesi Kolony once again flips the zone in their favor. They are wanting to get that lead. Victory trying to pull some attention. It allows Orange Ocean to flip the zone back. They do have a hammer ready. Neutral doing a great job getting that kill off of jump. There is a crab ready on the side of Karmesi Kolony, but it's going to be met by a hammer, which unfortunately gets shut down right there. I have a joke that I can say with the hammers if we could just do it, and I want to see it, ladies and gents, but right now Karmesi Kolony is using the momentum they gained from shutting down a few members of Orange Ocean to get recontrol of the zone, and that penalty is almost up.
It could grab this. They only need it for a couple more seconds. They just have to hold a little bit longer. The Reef Slider comes out and keeps it. No, Karmesi Kolony not able to take the lead back there. That is what you got to be careful of when that Dread has that Reef Slider ready and they're the team in the lead. And they just go, just kidding, we got it.
Yep, it once again flips, and now, ironically, Orange Ocean is through with their penalty points, and they are scoring for the first time in 4 minutes. They are taking it down. There's 13. The points are almost entirely matched by the time on the clock right here. A Reef Slider coming out, trying to flip the zone, but with a hammer throw, it stops it, and Orange Ocean will secure the game. We're going to the final game. This is wonderful. I didn't get to do my joke, so I'll do it right now. Lovely coordination of the hammers right there, where one would go down, but then a member of Orange Ocean would say, "What will you do about the second one, Karmesi?" and charge straight in there.
What if I had 2 hammers?
The real ones in chat will know what I'm referencing right there. Okay, wonderful, wonderful game by Orange Ocean, able to just keep their cool and just maintain control. The Hammer Bros, if you will. Thank you to the lovely voice in my head for that joke as well.
Heading into game 3 on Tower Control Inkblot. Like Mako, I think a fun map for both of these teams to play on.
Yeah, this is I mean, hey, we hardly saw any change up of comps in the last game. I don't exactly think we'll see much on this. I mean, hey, we started the adventure here at Tower Control Inkblot, and we're sure as heck gonna finish it here at Tower Control Inkblot. This is neat. Winner here, this may be the tipping scale of who goes to Alpha Bracket tomorrow, between these two teams. So a lot is riding on this fight right now. Both teams just are taking a moment to recollect themselves. This is a map that favors their comps heavily. At this point, it's just the matter of which unstoppable force will overpower the other.
Yeah, both teams here sitting at 4 set wins, having lost only 1 set each. One of them will not escape unscathed. One of them will be losing this set. It is neck and neck. We're playing for that tiebreaker. And so, because I have been playing a lot of Dread for about coming up, I think, on a year or so now. And Dread can be really fun on Inkblot. Reef Slider, I would say tower control probably is its weakest mode, just for the special itself. If you're able to take advantage of clearing space with it and hopefully surviving, this does not always work, but if you're able to survive,
Yeah, true.
if you're able to survive and get in a lot of just that wide 70 damage radius for your team to clean up on, can be really, really huge. But the Reef Slider itself doesn't always get a ton of direct kills on this map, so we do only see one of those Dreads in here on RIT's side. Rhea did end up swapping for Karmesi over to the Forge Pro.
Rose, they're orange. It's finally accurate. It's finally accurate. I feel like it's like Rock Lee taking off the weighted gloves right here. But unfortunately, I say that, but 2 members go down, so maybe it is a bit too much like the tuning exams right now. And as Beast is trying to secure top right here, they stopped that member of our RIT from jumping out as they are pushing this tower forward. Please be careful of that suction bomb, Bees, as they managed to quickly avoid that. Both members of Karmesi Kolony right here have specials ready to go, and the strikes come out. Does manage to clip one. RC right here getting a second kill. That is another wipeout. Karmesi Kolony foot on the gas. There are no brakes, Rose. We are back in the car again.
We are back in the car. We cannot get off of this wild ride. Kibri House, ooh, this is, I was waiting to see this well string come out. Getting some nice damage into this crab, but this crab is still alive here. That Booyah managing to keep them alive as well. Beast is going to be forced off and is going to go down here, but down to 13 points. They did no, never mind. They cleared the checkpoint. They're still on. Gas is still on. 2 jumps coming to tower. They're trying to stay alive. Gotta dodge that bomb here. Beast is able to do so. They're getting taken down by everybody else there. That is going to stop at 3 points remaining. We are only a minute and a half into this game.
Boy, never lucky. You need to defy your name right here and work together with your team. We need to see some picks. There's 2 specials ready for Orange Ocean right now. They need to live up to their namesake and start to begin to flood Karmesi Kolony out of there. Neutral and Never Lucky right here working together to get that pick. Booyah Bomb left side tower, but with this Reef Slider, lovely, running down Rhea right now. They got the tower back in neutral and they are now scoring. This is the start of the push, Rose.
Yes, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm seeing members of Orange Ocean move in, take the space on this platform, moving in through that top area. Definitely an area you want to control when you're pushing forward here. They've got a Reef Slider ready on here. Kibri House able to get a nice pick. Going through the second checkpoint very, very quickly. People are going down one after the other on Karmesi Kolony. This, I don't know, if they keep the momentum up, they could keep it going. Never Lucky throwing these strikes out, controlling that space ahead of that 3rd checkpoint, making sure the rest of the team can get in here and wreak havoc with the hammer. Not going to be able to do a whole lot with it, but able to keep Karmesi Kolony on their toes. They're threatening down to a 0. They somehow completely reversed that. How did they do it?
And just like that, as it was prophesied by their namesake, with a tidal wave of a flood, Orange Ocean washes the Karmesi Kolony away, giving them victory in this set, taking it 2-1. They gave the colony a taste of their own medicine, and they went and threw it up into the ocean that began to overtake them. I don't know where this analogy is going, folks. I tried my best.
Oh, the orange ocean sweep. Very, very strong. That was, wow, that Inkblot moment where, I mean, that sometimes you can see why teams are really pushing to get that knockout on this map, because if you all of a sudden lose advantage and then your team starts getting staggered, even though you got down to 3, and the other team might just knock it out.
And that's what we saw right there. Rose, I was about to be like, this is a very strong sense of deja vu. And as we were moving back, yeah, I have been in this place before. And a wonderful, wonderful job by both teams right there. Unfortunately, Karmesi Kolony, their offensive might was met and they could not keep up, but wonderful job to both of these teams and to all the teams that we have seen today. That will conclude day one here of Low Ink, at least in terms of what you will see here on our lovely little stream. I'm sure some teams are still fighting it out to try to secure their place in whatever bracket they ultimately end up in, but that will be the end for me and Rose right here. So Rose, my friend, why don't you tell the good people where they can find you so they can still see our beautiful mugs?
It was funny. I didn't even realize that was round 6 at first. I was like, wait, do we not have another? Then I opened up Sendo
No.
and I was like, oh, that was round 6. What a one to end it on. Y'all can find me over on Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, various places at Rose of Battle. That's going to be my screen name wherever you can find me. How about you, Jack?
You can find me at JolteonJack22 on Twitter and JolteonJack.bluesky.social over on Blue Sky. I am doing my best to try to be more active in posting and stuff on there. Hopefully I'll be having some stuff for my VA work showing up on there soon once I get a second to sit down and record. But we're too busy sitting down to commentate Splatoon, so I mean one of these days I'll be able to do that. But that concludes our section for Low Ink. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you to our players for some wonderful games, and until we see you guys hopefully tomorrow, stay fresh, y'all.